Well, well, well. I knew it. Manufactured drama. Now, the issue becomes that people need to focus on. Why is the drama being manufactured? And I think there are some things that we need to pay attention to that happened last week with this entire George Pickens thing. And I think we need to just keep our eyes open and make sure that this is not the same thing that happened with Micah Parsons last year, but not as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys necessarily, but as it applies to David Mulugheta. Because we have to ask ourselves a question. Why would Adam Schefter lie? It's not the fact that he lied. The question is, why would he lie? I'm not sure now that Adam Schefter is lying as much as Mike Fisher said he was. Let's talk, Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Let's go. Let's go. I'm telling you, you gotta pay attention to what's going on with this George Pickens thing. I'm telling you, the more this develops, I'm seeing some foul play. And the foul play that we're watching, it's coming from somebody. Welcome, 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 Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And yes, we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. See, this whole George Pickens thing, I'm going to unfold this even better on this live stream that I did in the video that I did on George Pickens. Because it is clear what we are watching. We are watching David Mulugheta versus Jerry Jones. We're watching David Mulugheta versus Jerry Jones. And there's a little bit of foul play going on here. And you can see what's actually happening. That somebody is trying to force the hands of the Dallas Cowboys. And like I said in the video, these things are done on purpose. People love the court of public opinion. And so now the George Pickens saga is being thrown out into the court of public opinion to try to force the Dallas Cowboys' hands. What we are watching is Jerry Jones versus David Mulugheta. So today, I'm gonna show you how this thing with Adam Schefter has went crazy by design, exactly the way it was intended to do. And so now the drama has begun. The drama begins. The drama begins. And the only one, I'm telling you, as I've been saying, the only one that can stop the drama is George Pickens. He's the only one that can stop the drama. Not Jerry, not David Mulugheta. George Pickens is the only one that can stop the drama. So we're gonna listen to all of that. And then if we can, we're gonna get to the UDFA standouts, because there are about 3 of these guys that I think that they are going to literally make a difference on the Dallas Cowboys team this year. I didn't get a chance to get to it yesterday. I apologize. The internet went out, wouldn't reconnect. It's over here in Dallas. I'm sorry, guys. But we're going to talk about these new signings. And I'm telling y'all now, I'm spoiling this up front. If anybody thinks that these new wide receiver signings are about George Pickens, if that's all they got, man, they cooked. They cooked if that's all they doing as far as George Pickens go. I don't think that junk has anything to do with George Pickens. And then, what's next? Is it an extension or whatever the case may be? We're gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna talk about some expectations. We got some other things too. I got a lot of things, though, with this George Pickens thing. You're going to see what I'm talking about. This is absolutely crazy, and it is being orchestrated. Do not blame this on the media, and do not blame this on Adam Schefter only. This is being carefully orchestrated by somebody to force the hands of the Dallas Cowboys. Man, all that and more next on Let's Talk Cowboys when we talk facts. Hey, 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 we still the Dallas Cowboys. We are still the Dallas Cowboys. Let's go. Yeah, yep. Let's get this quick roll call in. We're gonna get this show going. Let's go. What's going on, Megan Sedone? What's going on with you? Good to see you. It is Dominique Pittman, the neighborhood skeptic. What is going on, Dominique? Yeah, I'm gonna come back to this thought process you got going right here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start this. I want to get through the introduction, but I see where you're going. What's going on, Jabri Quinn? What's going on? What's going on, Ruffin 8385? What's going on? I'm gonna start what you said. I want to get past this. What is going on, Queen? Queen, you own it, ain't you? You know what's going on, don't you? Queen, you know what's going on, don't you? This is being carefully and methodically orchestrated. And the only one that can stop this is George Pickens. He's the only one that can stop it. And I don't think he's going to stop it. He's the only one that can stop it. Tony AM 2000. What's going on? I'm going to start and I'm going to come back to it. What's going on? What's going on, Renan Zanguini? Hey, you said I should reconsider that purple thing. Boy, you crazy. You said I could reconsider that purple suit? Yes, sir. Bob TY5X. What's going on from the 903? Yes, sir. Douglas Harrison, what is going on? Sub-Zero. Thomas Gold Ring, Dak Owens said, welcome to Let's Talk Cowboys and We Talk Facts. Come and hit the like button, let your opinion be heard. Also, please keep the chat clean. Brandy, as usual, she says, hey, my loves, what's going on, Brandy? Frank Lawrence in the house. What up, Frank Lawrence? Good to see you. Larry Stroud, Richard Owens, Mark Davis. What's going on, Mark Davis? Good to see you today. Tatiana, what's going on? Big Moss Dog, what's going on with you? King Kong community, good to see you. Good to see you. What is going on? Man, what's going on, man? You like that Yoda thing, man? You like that Yoda thumbnail? Hey, man, that's symbolic. Jerry's Yoda up in this thing, man. Jerry is Yoda. What's going on, Larry Golden? What's going on? The Big Robowski. He said the only one that can stop this drop is Jalen Tolbert. Yes, sir. What's up, Mr. Get Dirty? What's going on, John Henry? What's going on? Oh, you got me rolling already today, man. What's going on, TME Greatness? B Dunk, what up? What's going on, Reginald Mackey? Keith in this thing. What up, Keith? Keith Washington. J. Lou Boys. What's going on, Football Fanatic? 72 Chevelle. What is going on? What is going on? Man, I said it today. It's manufactured. Richard Baptiste. What's going on, Chanel? Neighborhood statistician. What is going on? Lord Nova, what is going on with you? Mills! What up, Mills? Good to see you, Mills. Debbie Johnson, what's going on? Abilene and Sweetwater, Texas in the house. Let's go. Kello V. Top Flight. What's up? Let's talk Cowboys. When we talk facts. Let's get this thing going. Teddy Drake, what's going on? All right, guys. Let's get this thing popping. I'm telling you what is going on. This is orchestrated. And this is why I push back respectively on Mike Fisher. This is orchestrated. And I don't think this is about Adam Schefter lying. I don't think this is what this is about. It's not about Adam Schefter lying. The question that should have been asked is, why would Adam Schefter get up yesterday morning and choose violence? Why would he do it? Why would Adam Schefter just get up yesterday morning and say, man, I think it's a good time to tell a lie? No. I told y'all this yesterday. These media members, they have inside information. They have informants. And what they do is they have informants as far as agents go. They have informants within the buildings of a lot of these teams. Mike Fisher is well connected with the Dallas Cowboys. But Adam Schefter is well connected within the NFL. Let that part sink in. Adam Schefter is connected within the NFL. And Adam Schefter is also well connected within the agency market. And what Adam Schefter has over Mike Fisher, Mike Fisher can't push and move narratives the way Adam Schefter pushes and moves narratives. Because when Adam Schefter says something, everybody listens. Everybody pays attention to what Adam Schefter says because he's not reporting on the Cowboys only. We react when Mike Fisher says something, and we respect the things that Mike Fisher brings. But when Adam Schefter says something, everybody pays attention. Everybody in the NFL, media members, players, social media, everybody pays attention. And this is the very reason why Adam Schefter reported what he reported yesterday. It was on purpose. It was on purpose. And I even said in the video, for anybody that watched it, I'm telling you something right now. I don't know if Adam Schefter necessarily lied the way Mike Fisher said he lied. I'm not sure that he lied the way Adam Schefter said he lied. Because maybe it wasn't as much of a lie as it is Adam Schefter pushing a narrative and an actual truth that we are about to watch happen before our very eyes. And the only thing that's going to change what Adam Schefter said is that George Pickens signs that non-exclusive tag sooner than later. Because the later George Pickens chooses to sign that tag, the more drama that's going to be built up until he signs it. And I'm going to tell y'all now, I said it yesterday, and Dominique pushed back on it, but I'm staying where I was yesterday. I'm telling y'all now, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are fed up with David Mulugheta in particular. Y'all don't realize what happened between Michael Parsons, Jerry Jones, and David Mulugheta. Do y'all know that Jerry Jones absolutely loved Michael Parsons? I don't care what anyone says. Jerry Jones had an affinity for Micah Parsons. That's why Michael Parsons got Jerry Jones' private number. That's why Michael Parsons and Jerry Jones were thick as thieves. Jerry Jones really was fooled by Michael Parsons because Michael Parsons was trying to make Jerry Jones feel like that they were ace boon coon. For anybody who don't know what that means, that they were thick as thieves and they were super close and that they could talk about things even as it applied to a contract and that contract could get done between them two. That's what Jerry thought. That's what Jerry thought. And we all know this. I don't care if you like it, love it, or hate it. I'm telling you the gospel on this. Jerry Jones is a man that believes in your word is bond. Jerry Jones believes in that. Jerry Jones believes in the handshake. Jerry Jones believes in the verbal agreements. Jerry Jones believes in the contract written on the napkins. Jerry Jones believes in holding a man to his word. That's what Jerry Jones believes in. Jerry Jones is still mad about that Michael Parsons thing. That was personal. That was personal, man. Some of y'all might not understand what that means, but it's personal. When you have a very small circle, that you let people get in, I remember I had a boss one time, and he invited a few of us over his house. He invited a few of us over, and he said, hey, let me tell y'all something. From this day forward, you better not ever betray me. He told us this. You better not ever betray me. Because when I let people in my home, it's personal. And if I let you in my home and you try to betray me, I'm going to bury you. Yeah, this is how some people are. And Jerry has taken this personal with David Mulugheta. And I'm telling you now, this isn't about George Pickens. It is, but it isn't. I'm telling you now, like I told Dominique yesterday, or Dominique pushed back, but I'm going to tell you again, Jerry is not going to let George Pickens hold him hostage. Y'all better understand what I'm telling you. Jerry is not going to let David Mulugheta and George Pickens hold him hostage. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Jerry is not going to allow some crazy, okay, we're going to sign George, but then there's going to be some kind of crazy injury or whatever. No, Jerry ain't doing it. Jerry isn't doing this. I'm telling us now, he's not doing it. With this George Pickens and Jerry Jones thing, I'm preparing myself for anything. I'm preparing myself for anything. Because I believe them in this perspective. I believe Stephen Jones when he says we have no intent on trading George Pickens. And they continue to be adamant about that. They had no intent on trading Michael Parsons. But David Mulugheta, we have to understand, he's a shrewd operator. I'm just telling you, he's a shrewd operator. He's a businessman. He's a shrewd operator. And he's going to get his client the money he feels they deserve come hell or high water. And this is why when you're dealing with David Mulugheta and you are a player, you have to tell David Mulugheta, I'm only willing to go this far. Because if you let David Mulugheta go as far as David Mulugheta wants to go, I'm going to tell you again, I keep telling you, the Dallas Cowboys, they are not the favorite team of David Mulugheta. The favorite team of David Mulugheta is Benjamin Franklin. Dominique said either one of two things is going to happen. Either GP is traded or this is going to be the last season here. We can never have anything nice. Dominique, let me tell you something. It all depends on where Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones' mindset is. It all depends on where their mindset is. Because I'm going to tell you, Dominique, George Pickens has no leverage. No leverage. Holding out is not an option for George Pickens. See, this is the hole that George Pickens is in, as much as I love George Pickens. And y'all have heard me defend George Pickens to the hilt. He has no leverage, unlike Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons was a sympathetic figure when this happened to Michael Parsons. Everybody liked Michael Parsons for the most part. Some of us in Dallas didn't like the podcast and some of the things that he said, but for the most part, the public at large loved Michael Parsons. And Michael Parsons was looked at as the best at his position. We're talking top two. And arguably, depending on who you were talking about, Michael Parsons was viewed as that piece that if you get him, you're going to the Super Bowl. That's why Green Bay gave up what they gave up to get Michael Parsons. But George Pickens isn't quite viewed like that. Some people view George Pickens as top 5. People like me, I view him as top 5. Other people say he's top 10. I've even heard some people say he's top 15. But the thing that I hear the most about George Pickens, people don't trust him. They don't trust him. They keep using his past against him. They believe that if he gets a contract, he gonna act a plumb fool when he get it. He gonna go back to doing all the things he was doing, and people act like he's gonna be Antonio Brown 2.0. George doesn't have on his side what Micah had on his side. And so the issue becomes, George, he does have a market. I mean, you take those 2 first-round picks off of him and let George get out there on the market, George would get paid big-time money. But the issue is he's not out there on the market. He's actually not on the market. And the Cowboys own the rights to George Pickens. This is the CBA deal. This isn't a Jerry Jones thing. This is the CBA deal. And so it all depends on how the Joneses feel on this. The Joneses could say, you know what, it's not worth the headache. We'll go ahead and trade him. But whatever team they trade him to, I'm telling you now, I would make them pay dearly for George Pickens. I would make them pay dearly. And whatever I'm doing, I'm going to improve my team. I'm not going to trade George Pickens I just don't want the headache no more. So let's just get him out of here and take a compensatory pick, or let's get a 3rd round. Nope, I'm not doing it. Whoever wants George Pickens, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, you're paying dearly. And I don't give a doggone what David Mulugheta does. You're paying dearly for George Pickens if it's me. You're paying dearly for George Pickens if it's me. You absolutely are. Ruffin said, to be honest, Dallas just needs to pay him and be done with the situation so they can go back to a quiet offseason. Notice sports ain't popping unless they're talking about the stupid GOAT debate. Yeah. Ruffin, but again, the Cowboys, if we're all listening to what the Cowboys are truly saying, it sounds like to me, they're saying they want to see one more year of George Pickens on the straight and narrow. Because it sounds like to me, based on some things that we heard, that maybe there were a few things about George they didn't like, and they still want to see him improve on those things. I'm going to let you hear Stephen Jones after I read these next few comments. Queen said, David is doing his job. Yeah. But GP got to speak up if he wants to stay in Dallas. Stay in Dallas. Sign the tag and let's go back to football. Queen, I'm going to say it again. And you're right. Only George can control this. Tony AM 2000, he said these agents are ruining the game for these players. Tony, this is why Jerry is fighting David Mulugheta so hard. Why has no other team made a bid to get him if he's truly worth $40 million? Why aren't they willing to give up anything yet to acquire him? Because let me tell you what they're doing. They already know that this is going to be a tumultuous issue with the Cowboys. They already know this. And most teams, I don't think you will find a team, and this is not just George Pickens, it's historical. Very few teams in history, less than 5, have ever given up 2 first-round picks for a wide receiver, no matter how good he was. No matter how good he was. Because most teams are not going to wreck their salary cap and their draft. They're not going to wreck their salary cap and their draft. They're just not going to do it. It doesn't make sense to do. I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks and take on George Pickens' $40 million salary. That's not a knock at George Pickens. Heck, I'm just not doing that. I wouldn't have did it for Micah Parsons. I thought it was way too steep. And Green Bay may actually live to regret it. 72 Chevelle says, sorry, we don't care. Got over these players trying to hold on as hostage, but I hope the Cowboys don't do like with Micah Parsons last year. Can't set out all I care. Yeah. Let me read this. It says, I like the players Jerry signed, put teeth in our defense. They absolutely did. And again, let me tell you something else, Frank Lawrence, to add to what you're saying. And so when people watch you put something together and they know that they are a pivotal piece, and this is the only leverage that George Pickens and David Mulugheta have in the grand scheme of things, that they feel like that they are a pivotal piece in this entire puzzle. And so they got to figure out a way to put pressure. They got to figure out a way to put pressure on the Cowboys to make them do what they want them to do. But as I said yesterday, I really think they're going about this the wrong way. I really think that if George, because Jerry already said this, he said George could make more money if he dealt directly with him. We don't have to like that statement. I'm just telling you what Jerry is saying. Jerry is cryptically saying that George could get that extension if he wasn't trying to work through David Mulugheta. We may not realize this, but Jerry was talking like, yeah, we can get an extension done with George Pickens. And somewhere in this, whether people like it or not, somewhere in this, there had to be a number thrown around. There had to be a number or something thrown around. Something had to be thrown out. Because why did the Cowboys just shut this down? Let's go back and listen to a couple of statements. A couple of statements that were made, because we're trying to blame this all on the Joneses. Some of this is maybe the fault of the Joneses. But there's something else going on here too. Let me see. I want to play. Let me give you a little bit of a timeline here on this situation, because it's crazy in the grand scheme of things. And I'm not going all the way back. I just want to go back to Thursday. All I want to do is go back to Thursday. I want to go back to Wednesday and Thursday, because this is when all hell broke loose. Wednesday and Thursday, all hell broke loose last week. So let's listen to what Stephen Jones said. And I'll be honest with you, I just didn't like when Stephen Jones made this statement. I said it then, and I'll say it again. I didn't like when Stephen Jones made this statement. I actually wish Stephen Jones would have kept this part to himself. But they asked him about how things were going with George Pickens. And Stephen Jones just decided to oblige the media. And this is where the drama starts.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Stephen, how are negotiations with George Pickens going, and how does that impact your approach to the draft?
Yeah, I think we've made a decision that we're going to have George play under the franchise tag, which won't be a first for us. So there won't be negotiations on a long-term deal.
So the question becomes, what caused this part? What actually caused this part? Because I'm telling us, Jerry Jones was sounding like he didn't mind getting a deal done with George Pickens. Now, they said they had no contact with the agent. But I want y'all to understand the game, man. We got to stop being naive to the game. You don't have to talk directly to somebody to know what they may be wanting. We got to understand the game. People can get things to you without talking to you. We have to understand the game. This is a game that they're playing. They're all playing it. This is a game. If you don't think that the Cowboys already got a sniff of what George Pickens may have been wanting, we're losing our minds. This is a game. You can get information without having a talk formally. You can get information. And again, I think Rumbowski is on to something too. Man, this doggone Jackson Smith and Jigba thing. When Jackson Smith and Jigba jumped out there with $42.5 million. this gets people in their feelings of, well, I know I'm worth this amount, and I know I'm worth that amount, and I know this. But in the grand scheme of things, what made the Dallas Cowboys take this stance? We may never know. But this wasn't their stance at first. What got them here? What got them here? Let's keep listening.
That's certainly not a first for this organization, and certainly won't be a first in the league in terms of, this decision as we move forward. But whether it's Dak Prescott, who played under one and got tagged a second time, whether it's D-Law, whether it's Tony Pollard, we've certainly had those situations. We're so fired up to have George on this football team.
See, the hard part of this conversation is, one, you really can't compare George to a quarterback. Because if a quarterback gets hurt, Kirk Cousins tore an Achilles and hasn't won hardly anything in the grand scheme of things, and still was able to come back with the Atlanta Falcons and take $120 million guaranteed out the door. See, quarterbacks can do that. Quarterbacks can do that. Other positions is going to be hard to do that. But I get what he's saying. DeMarcus Lawrence did it, but David Mulugheta, if I'm not mistaken, was not his agent. Tony Pollard did it, and Tony Pollard wound up being gone. But a lot of players don't like playing on any kind of non-exclusive tag. A lot of players don't like playing on fifth-year options because they feel like if they get hurt, then they won't get the money. I understand where George Pickens is on that. But at the end of the day, the rock in the hard place is this simple. He doesn't really have any options. What is his options? David Mulugheta will have to find a team that's willing to give up, if not 2 first-round picks. You don't have to get 2 first-round picks, but I bet you this, the Cowboys aren't taking a second-round pick for George Pickens. I don't give a doggone if he run through the locker room throwing helmets all up against the wall. They're not giving up George Pickens for a second-round pick. He's worth way more than that. I promise you, if I trade George Pickens, you're getting me somebody that's going to be a difference maker on my defense. You might not be able to get the difference maker on your offense, but doggone it, I'm getting the difference maker on my defense. I understand what George is. I understand where he is, but I also understand the other side of where he is. Just like the Cowboys signed up for this, George Pickens signed up for it too. George Pickens signed up for it too. George Pickens signed up with the Dallas Cowboys, knowing who CeeDee Lamb was, knowing how the Joneses are, he signed up for all of this, whether we realize it or not. He signed up for all of it. And he knew that there was a possibility that if he played well, the Cowboys could either extend him or the Cowboys could say, now you're going to play on the franchise tag. He knew this. And so I understand where he's coming from, but I cannot be fair if I don't understand where the Cowboys are coming from. If you listen to Stephen Jones, it sounds like they want to see one more year of George Pickens on the straight and narrow. Check it out.
And obviously he's been here for a year. We gave up a third-round pick for him, and certainly he's made tremendous progress in the year that he's been here. I think he'd be the first to tell you that this is a great situation for him, playing with CD and Dak and in Coach Schottenheimer's offense. I think he loves Coach Schottenheimer and what he brings to the table, but certainly a conscious decision that we've made.
Yeah. I mean, Stephen Jones made it clear, if you didn't hear him, he said George has made some improvements. It sounds like there are some other things that they are wanting to see from George Pickens. I can't tell you what that is, but I've already told you, if it was me, I'd go ahead and extend George Pickens. But this is not how the Cowboys feel. They want to see one more year from George Pickens. I don't think it's a matter of, Dominique, I think, you're saying that they don't want George for more than a year. I do think they want George for more than a year. I just don't think they want to pay the price for George for more than a year, even though they can afford it. And I think what they are wanting George Pickens to do is to take that team-friendly deal. And maybe, David Mulugheta isn't wanting that. But let me show you where some gamesmanship happened. Let me show you where some gamesmanship happened for people who didn't see the video. Let me show you where it seems like David Mulugheta and George Pickens decided to play a little game with the Cowboys. It seems like they decided to play a little game with the Cowboys. And so let me see. I'm going to get to the spot here. Let me see. I think it's somewhere about here. Let me see.
No intention of moving George.
Yeah, this is it right here.
Last year in the pre-draft process. I'm just curious, how much did maybe those interactions with Tyler Booker and how you guys looked at Caleb Downs kind of mirror each other a year later?
It's interesting, Joe, and what he's brought to this team and this offense, and we expect the same thing from Caleb.
Now, let's check out this next part. So some gamesmanship went on, I believe, as it applies to David Mulugheta. Because before this draft, everybody was saying the Cowboys were going to draft a wide receiver. And the wide receiver, everybody was saying the Cowboys would try to get was going to be Jordan Tyson. We already knew Cornell Tate wasn't going to be there. So people were like, the Cowboys are going to trade up for Jordan Tyson. Now, I want y'all to think about something that happened that a lot of us started having some thoughts about. David Mulugheta, it seems, reached out to the Dallas Cowboys and told the Dallas Cowboys the morning of the draft that George Pickens was going to sign the franchise tag or sign that non-exclusive tag. They did that morning. Now, my question is this: why? I don't know why, but I'm asking why. Why would they contact the Cowboys Thursday before the draft and say that George Pickens was going to sign the tag? Why did they do that? Why did they do that the morning before the draft? Because if the Cowboys actually wanted to replace George Pickens, and this is the part that people aren't paying attention to, if they wanted to replace George Pickens, we do realize Makai Lemon was sitting right there. Makai Lemon was sitting right there. The Cowboys actually traded backwards with the Philadelphia Eagles and let the Philadelphia Eagles get Makai Lemon. Now, I'm asking a question. Did the news of George Pickens influence the Cowboys to say, okay, George is going to sign the tag, we're not going to take a wide receiver high? Would the Cowboys have taken Makai Lemon had they not heard from David Mulugheta or his team that morning? I mean, inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Why did they choose? Why did they choose to contact the Cowboys the day of the draft, before the draft starts, to say that George is signing that tag? Why did they do that? Because again, if the Cowboys wanted to replace George Pickens, that was their opportunity with Makai Lemon. The Cowboys could have got Makai Lemon. They could have worked out a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles, which they probably didn't want to do. They wouldn't send George to the Philadelphia Eagles. But they could have worked out a trade for George Pickens with other wide receiver hungry teams. Why didn't they do it? The Cowboys, one, they want to keep George Pickens. And then the other side of me wonders, was this a strategic move that David Mulugheta's crew contacted the Dallas Cowboys the morning of the first day of the draft and said, George is going to sign that tag? Sounds like a little gamesmanship to me. And I don't know if it affected what the Cowboys were doing or not, but I can tell you this. It's strange to me. The same thing happened with Michael Parsons. After the draft was over, This is where Michael Parsons started acting up. It was after the draft. This is when Micah started. Micah started doing some weird stuff after the draft. Started doing weird stuff. And I mean, it's like clockwork. Monday, Adam Schefter reports that George Pickens wants a long-term deal or to be traded. I'm just telling you, I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in coincidences. Why would they contact the Cowboys the morning of the first round? Because that's where, if you're going to replace George Pickens, it would have to be in the first round, and you're still not going to replace him necessarily. I don't think you're going to replace the production with a rookie wide receiver. But they did it that morning. Now listen to the question and listen to the answer.
Stephen, news broke before the night that George Pickens intends to sign his franchise tag, which would open up the possibility to be moved if possible. Has anything changed in your guys' expectations that he'll be a Cowboy in 2026?
Now, this is what had everyone afraid. Do y'all remember? People thought George was signing that tag because the Cowboys were going to trade him. But the Cowboys have no intentions on trading George Pickens. But notice what he keeps saying. We have no intentions. We have no intentions on trading George Pickens. And when I hear that language, that says to me, but something could change our minds depending upon how severe it is. And we all breathed a sigh of relief because this was post first round of the draft that the Cowboys didn't draft a wide receiver high. They didn't get Mekhi Lemon. They didn't trade up to get Jordan Tyson. And so we all believed. We all got. Come on now. All of us got. All of us got now. Because we all thought that George Pickens had signed or was going to sign the tag immediately. We all believed it. We all believed it. Only to find out now it's Tuesday and George hasn't signed the tag.
Nothing. We have no intention of moving George. It obviously, in our mind, we're fired up about it. That he's ready to come in here and sign his tender. And in our mind, that means go to work. Now, we'll see. But no, so far everything's been outstanding. Our communication with George, Coach Schottenheimer, Jerry, our communication with David Mulugheta has been very cordial and upbeat. So we've got every reason in the world to believe that, hopefully he's ready to go to work. But we have zero intention of moving George Pickens.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it. And the reason why I believe it is that if the Cowboys wanted to trade George Pickens, they would have did it in the draft. It was their best opportunity to get rid of George Pickens. The Cowboys don't want to get rid of George Pickens. They don't want to get rid of George Pickens. I don't even think it's a matter of the Cowboys don't want to pay George Pickens. But I do say that the Cowboys are saying whether any of us agree or whether any of us like it or not. It sounds like to me they're wanting to see more from George Pickens, as in George Pickens being the man that they want him to be. Now, we don't have to like it, but I'm just telling you, it seems like this is what they are looking for. They want George Pickens to be the man they want him to be. Because even last year, we heard some things that George liked. And again, we say it wasn't anything major. But maybe to the Cowboys, though, like before we invest another $30+ million into a doggone wide receiver or invest this in George Pickens, we want to see more. We can love it, like it, or hate it. But I dare say that when the Cowboys have said that we're not going to talk about a long-term extension and that George Pickens is playing on the tag. I'll be honest with you. I don't like that. But that's the truth if that's what they decided. That's the truth. That's the truth. And the Cowboys are basically saying, we're not playing with George. And really, I think they're saying we're not playing with David Mulugheta. George is either going to play under the tag or he's not going to play. I don't know how this is going to turn out. If I'm a betting man, which I'm not a betting man, but I do believe that at some point George Pickens is going to sign that tag. George is going to sign that tag at some point. Because George would be crazy to miss that money. George would be crazy to lose that money. And my other part about this is that people don't understand. Somebody got to tell me, where's George going to play? Where is he going to play? What team is going to be willing? Y'all tell me. What team is going to be willing to break the bank for George Pickens? And we already know that everybody has been talking about the 2027 draft is supposed to be that draft. Explain to me again. Who's going to give up major 2027 draft capital for George Pickens and pay him $36 million or more? Name that team. Name them. Name them. I'm waiting. Name them. Who is it? Who is it? Because I got a feeling if David Mulugheta could have did it, he would have did it already. And I do think there are some rules to this, King Kong. They're not trading George in the division. They're not trading George in the division unless, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure Howie Roseman would be willing to do. I'm not sure Howie Roseman would be willing to do what the Cowboys would take from the Philadelphia Eagles in order to get George Pickens. Because I'm telling you right now, if Philly came knocking and said, we want George Pickens the same way they wanted Michael Parsons, Jerry wasn't going to do that unless they were going to basically give up their entire defensive line. Yeah, you're going to give up your whole defensive line. If I'm Jerry Jones and the Philadelphia Eagles want George Pickens, I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now. You're going to give me Quinyon Mitchell. Is that the cornerback name? You're going to give me Mitchell. You're going to give me A.J. Brown. You're going to give me a draft pick. And even then, I'm going to take the defensive tackle. I forget the defensive tackle name for the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, you giving me players and draft picks if I'm going to give you George Pickens. I'm wrecking you. If I was to trade George Pickens to Philadelphia, man, I'm wrecking you. I'm going to wreck your team. I'm not going to let you improve your team and get a measly draft pick in 2027. Nah, bro, I'm wrecking your team. You're going to give me major capital for George Pickens. But I don't think they would trade him within the division. And Philly may be the only team that would do it. So outside of Philly, name me the other team that would do it. Name me the other team that would do it. Because if I'm the Cowboys, I'm wrecking you. If it's Philly, shoot, Frederick Johnson, I'm wrecking Philly. I'm going to gut them. Yeah, you want George? I want A.J. Brown. I want Jalen Carter. I want Quinyon Mitchell. And I want a draft pick. I want to swap a draft pick. I'm not just giving you George and you're going to give me, you're going to give us a second. Nah, bro, I'm wrecking you. You're going to give me a second, a third, Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter, and you're going to give me Mitchell. I'm wrecking you. There is no way I would be helping out the Philadelphia Eagles. I wouldn't do it. Gravedigger said, Matthew 22:21, give therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's. If GP3 earned his money, he deserved to be paid. If they are worried about behavior, then put clauses in his contract. Well, I think they're going to do that if they extend it. Appreciate that super chat, Gravedigger. I appreciate that. And I think they're going to do that if and when they extend him. But Gravedigger, I'm still saying this. I think they would extend George Pickens. But the issue is that the Cowboys want George Pickens to trust them. Because they're saying, okay, we'll trust you, but we want you to trust us. We'll trust you. Get on that tag, do everything you're supposed to do, trust us, we'll come back and pay you the money. Even if you get hurt, we'll come back and pay you the money. And we still know, man, the Cowboys are crazy enough to do stuff like that. I mean, they paid Michael Gallup. I'll never understand the Michael Gallup deal. Rodney Evans said, hey, G, should ask that extension as soon as that trade went down. But but hold on. Rodney Evans. Again, let's not blame all of this on the Dallas Cowboys. Because George Pickens said when he came to the Cowboys, he didn't want to talk contracts with the Cowboys. He didn't want to talk contracts. Let me see if I can find it. George Pickens clearly said, and I wish I could find it. George Pickens clearly said, and I heard him say it. He didn't want a contract with the Cowboys when the Cowboys got him. Let's look right here. Let's see. The Bleacher Report has it. The Bleacher Report has it. And I remember George Pickens saying this multiple times. And this is the part that nobody wants to talk about. It says after being traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Dallas Cowboys, wide receiver George Pickens reportedly is in no rush to land a contract extension despite entering the final year of his rookie deal. It says here, Clarence Hill of All City DLLS reported that Pickens is not seeking a contract extension after Wednesday trade, as a source said he wants to show he's a top guy this year. Can we stop saying that the Cowboys didn't have a plan when they traded for George Pickens? Pickens didn't want it. And I'm telling you where that was coming from. It was coming from David Mulugheta. Do y'all remember that Michael Parsons kept trying to get that deal done early? Michael Parsons wanted to do a deal with the Cowboys 2 years early. And David Mulugheta kept saying, no, the market will be bigger next year. The market will be bigger next year. It was David Mulugheta who was telling Michael Parsons not to do it. Do y'all remember? And George Pickens. Who do you think advised him not to seek a deal with the Cowboys when he was traded? I think we forget that, but that was major news. That was major news when George Pickens came to the Cowboys. George Pickens said he didn't want the contract. He said it. He didn't want the contract. So at the end of the day, he said he wanted to show that he was one of the top guys. Okay, he's shown that he's one of the top guys. But the Cowboys want him to play on a tag. And I think the deal is the Cowboys, for whatever reason, I don't know, they're just saying they want to see more. They're saying they want to see more. And so at the end of the day, George Pickens is in a rock and a hard place. And I'm telling you now, I told y'all this before. Don't get it twisted. Stephen Jones is leaving the door open. When I hear somebody say, we have no intentions on trading George Pickens, you know what I'm hearing in my other ear? Yeah. But if he act a fool, or if the right situation arises, we will trade him. But I can tell you this, whatever team trades with the Cowboys for George Pickens, they are going to pay they are going to pay dearly. They're going to pay dearly. Derrick Rose, he said, "Gee, you forgot to ask for Howie Roseman why you're wrecking Philly with your trade demands for GP." Shoot, man, I tell you what, because I think Howie Roseman would step up and try to get George Pickens. But I'm wrecking that team. I am wrecking that team. Kevin Edwards, let me tell you something. They can call out Adam Schefter all they want to. They can call out Adam Schefter all they want to, Kevin Edwards. But people are asking the wrong question. They're not only asking the wrong question, they're attacking Adam Schefter, man. Adam Schefter didn't just wake up, guys. He didn't wake up and say, "Man, I'm choosing violence today." Do we really believe Adam Schefter woke up and said, "I'm choosing violence today"? I'm going to go out here and report something that I haven't heard from anybody. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. If y'all think Adam Schefter woke up, took a shower, put his clothes on, and was combing his hair in the mirror and said, "Man, I'm about to go out here and put my credibility on the line. I'm about to go out here and just lie. No. Yep, Niecy, you did a show on that about Pickens. Niecy, he said he didn't want that extension. And I'm telling y'all, I don't believe. Niecy, you tell me what you believe. I don't believe Adam Schefter woke up and chose violence. I don't believe he woke up and chose it. Nah, he got this from somebody. He got this from somebody. What George Pickens did, what Adam Schefter is saying, nah, he got this from somebody. I don't care if he didn't get it directly from George Pickens' mouth. He got this from somebody. There is no doubt in my mind he got this from somebody. And people are not asking the right question. Why in the world would this man just get up and just say, "Yeah, man, I think I'm going to start telling lies this morning and get things started"? Nah, he heard this from somebody. It's too well orchestrated because all of a sudden, if it's such a lie, somebody explain to me, why is everybody running with the story? Why is everybody running with the story if it's a lie? Why are they running with it? Why are they running with the story? Everybody's running with the story. And everybody is trying to, it's almost like people are trying to strong arm the Cowboys into trading George Pickens. Why are they doing this? Why are they trying to strong arm? There are some saying don't trade him. Others are saying sign and trade. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing it? This is by design, guys. This is by designs. King Kong Community said, "When has Jerry Jones won any good real negotiation? It's over with. Season over. Watch. All season we'll hear excuses and promises." King Kong Community, I dare say, I believe the Cowboys have won the Michael Parsons trade. We're going to see this year and next year. I think they won the Michael Parsons trade. Cowboys have gotten way better since that Michael Parsons trade. They have turned that Michael Parsons trade into, man, they've turned that. Think about it. The Cowboys traded the number 20 pick. They traded the number 20 pick, traded back, got 2 fourth-round picks, got 2 players. So when you look at what the Cowboys have gotten off the Michael Parsons trade, Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, then you got Devin Moore, LT Overton. I'm thinking the Cowboys may have won that trade, but we got to see it play out on the field the same way we got to see it play out on the field for the Green Bay Packers, because right now they have got to be sad on what they did. Slice says, "I've had enough of the Jones family. They just can't get out of their way. This is ridiculous. Dak is going to have to overcome the Jones family again." Well, I'm gonna reserve judgment on that. We're gonna wait and see. George can stop all of this. Big Amish Media, he said, "Don't shoot the messenger." Big Amish Media. People don't want to talk about this part. I'm talking about Big Amish Media. I'm not believing Adam Schefter woke up yesterday and chose violence. I'm not believing it. I'm not believing this man chose violence like that. Nah, man, this man, somebody put this little bug in his ear. And the little bug that they put in his ear, it seems like now people in the media are co-signing it. Yeah, George ain't playing on the tag. I guarantee you George ain't playing on the tag. Really? Where are you getting this information from? Why are you so adamant that George isn't going to play on the tag? Nisi said, if you want the bag, hire David. Exactly. But if you want a team that you love and respect, you get a different agent to help you find said team. You just said a mouthful right there. You just said a mouthful. Yes, sir, Rodney Evans. I'll reach out here soon. I'm telling you. Mo Perry, I'm telling you right now. This Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel thing has opened up this can of worms. And Skip Bayless even said this too. And Skip is crazy, but Skip will tell you a lot of truth. These people are all connected. A lot of people, when they were talking about the Diana Rossini thing, they were talking about how these media people, they have informants within these organizations and with these agents, and they push narratives for these people. They push these narratives. And again, for as much as people are saying, yeah, man, hey, George ain't said nothing. I applaud George. He hasn't said nothing. Right. He hasn't said nothing. Does anybody hear what I'm saying? George hasn't said anything. Has he said, I'm signing the tag? Has he said, I'm signing it? What has he said? Yeah, he ain't saying nothing. I like that he's not saying anything. But in the grand scheme of things, are we going to now say that it didn't come from the camp of David Mulugheta? That George Pickens was going to sign the franchise tag, sign a non-exclusive tag on Thursday? Did that not come from David Mulugheta's camp? Because if that didn't come from his camp, okay, now we can say it's all a lie. But why did that come through? Why did that come through? Why did the media know? How did the media know that David Mulugheta had reached out to the Cowboys and said that George is signing the tag? How did it come out? Come on, man. I know a lot of us, we're frustrated, but this is a game that's being played. This is a game that's being played, man. It's a game. It is a game that is being played. Bottom line, it's a game. Josh Garcia, I'm sorry. If you believe that Adam Schefter woke up and chose violence and decided to lie on David Mulugheta and George Pickens, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't believe nobody wakes up and just says that, especially in Adam Schefter. Even if Adam Schefter tells a lie, please stop thinking that he got the lie from himself. There is a source of the lie. There is a source of the lie. And that's why I keep saying the wrong question is being asked. Why did he tell a lie? Don't tell me he told a lie. Tell me why he told it. What does it benefit Adam Schefter? Help me out. Likes and clicks, man. Adam Schefter could do anything to get likes and clicks. Nah, something is awry here,
when you
man.
look at all that, J-Mac, from Pickens' perspective.
And so now, here we go. We're in the news cycle. We're in a news cycle, and so everybody is trying to sell that George shouldn't play either he should play or he shouldn't play under the tag. This is where everybody is.
When you look at all that, J-Mac, from Pickens' perspective, does it make sense to sign the tag now?
It's not a lot of fun when you're at home if you're George Pickens and you hear the fact that, hey, we're not planning on signing you to a long-term deal we want you to just sign your franchise tag and come on and play. If I'm George Pickens, I'm having my agent explore every opportunity to get a trade going, because if I'm Pickens, I want to go somewhere this offseason where I can get paid. Is there a team that's willing to give something up to get him there and then give him the contract that he earned with his play on the field a year ago? I know a lot of people are going to say to you, if I'm George Pickens, just sign the tag, go to work, and just replicate the year you had last year. That's not so easy. You think about it, the draft just passed, and a year ago we had all of these quarterbacks coming out for the draft that didn't happen. Now we're all saying, look to 2027 for that draft. You don't know what a year of football is going to bring. George Pickens has to stay healthy. Dak Prescott has to stay healthy. It's also the second year in a system that every defensive coordinator studied all offseason. So if I'm Pickens, I'm trying to get out to get the contract right now, and then my last resort is to sign that tag and go play.
Really? Okay. All right. We're okay. You can believe what you want to believe, that this is all coincidence. Okay. Okay. We go ahead. If anybody want to believe that this is all coincidence, you go ahead. I'm just telling you, this seems well orchestrated. It seems well orchestrated. Frank Lawrence, George can't hide behind his agent forever. Again, he can't. Frank Lawrence said Adam Schefter wakes up and reads a teleprompter. Man, I'm telling us, we're asking the wrong question about Adam Schefter. Why would he do it? And Josh, I don't disagree with you saying that he came out with he comes out with wrong reports, because he keeps saying that George signed the non-exclusive tender and he didn't. But I'm not going to get hung up on that. Why did he choose to do this? There has to be a source. That becomes the issue with a lot of these guys. What's the source? And don't think they're just pulling stuff out of the clear blue sky. This is why they're going back and investigating Diana Rossini. Everything she's doing is being called into question. Why? Why is it being called into question? Because they're realizing that a lot of the things she was doing was to help Mike Vrabel, allegedly. And so you can do this with almost any of these media members who say they are connected. They'll do the same stuff. They're all doing it. They may not be doing it the way Diana Rossini, allegedly did it. They're not doing it the same way. But they all have these informants in these teams, with these agents, and they control narratives. We would be surprised. We're talking about Adam Schefter. We would actually be surprised. Some of these narratives that y'all hear, they are orchestrated by teams. They're orchestrated by agents because they want certain things out into the court of public opinion. They want to gauge how people feel about things, what people are saying about things. Can they get a narrative going to kind of force their way into getting certain things? Because my issue with Adam Schefter.
From Pickens' perspective,
my issue with Adam Schefter isn't the lie. My issue is why. And I'm not buying he just did it for the clicks and the likes. Nah, there's something else here. There's something else here. We're watching this play out in the court of public opinion, man. This is a negotiation going on here. Ice Wall Cowboy says 6 degrees of separation for regular folks, 2 degrees at the most for media and NFL personnel. I'm telling us, man, this is a game we're watching. I don't buy any of it. I don't buy any of this nonsense. It's just nonsense. It's manufactured drama. Because if Adam Schefter is lying so big, why aren't people just saying, yeah, man, Adam Schefter is lying. Adam Schefter is lying and we ain't going to even touch this story. Man, they're burning this story up. And again, bottom line, only one that stops this is George Pickens. The only one that stops this is George Pickens. And what I got to figure out, so where did it come from that George was going to sign the tag on Thursday morning? Where did it come from? Are we disputing that? Where did it come from? Where did that story come from? Where did it come from that George was signing the tag on Thursday? Where did that come from? Because as far as I know, nobody's disputing that was said. Where is that coming from? We're watching a game, man. I'm going to tell you what blew my mind on this. I'm going to let you hear another story on this. But even Darren Woodson had something to say about this. Nisi, pushing the narrative in the media is an old gangster move. David, the Godfather Mulugheta. Man, y'all better understand, man. These guys are, and understand about these media members. This is another point that people don't understand. Media members have agents too. Media members have agents too. And have y'all not noticed how these media members are always trying to take up for these agents? Man, y'all better hear what I'm telling you. True Texan, I saw that. Ocho Cinco said that George Pickens is going to be happy. I think the Cowboys all along have planned to extend George Pickens. It's not going to surprise me if they extend George Pickens. I just don't think they're going to pay him. I don't think they're going to pay him no $40 million or anything like that. And I still say I don't think George wants $40 million. I'm thinking he wants somewhere around 34 to 36. Madman said, if I'm GP, I'll tell the agent I'm playing on 27 million tag. Come on, GP. Bass. And another thing, Bass, you said fire Mulugheta. Another thing, Bass, that people aren't talking about enough. Man, David Mulugheta has been through this before, whether anybody realizes it or not. Y'all do know David Mulugheta has been through this before. T. Higgins with the Cincinnati Bengals. So what was David Mulugheta doing? I mean, hey, he's doing his job. He's trying to get T. Higgins as much money as he can. But he really thinks that he's going to get T. Higgins the same amount of money as Jamar Chase? Now, if you let David Mulugheta tell it, he was going to get T. Higgins as much as Jamar Chase. And I guarantee you David Mulugheta was pushing for that top of the market money. And T. Higgins fired him because T. Higgins saw what was about to happen. T. Higgins basically saw that if I keep going on this trajectory, I'm going to be out of Dallas. I'm going to be out of Cincinnati. T. Higgins fired David Mulugheta. T. Higgins fired David Mulugheta. And again, I'm not telling you that George, and I see some comments about George, I'm not telling you this is George. But this doesn't sound like this. This is advantage David Mulugheta for everything that everybody is talking about. Yeah. Trade George Pickens. Trade. They want that mantra out there. Trade George Pickens. Trade George Pickens. And again, if Adam Schefter, Kevin Edwards, if Adam Schefter got bad information, so explain to me again, why is everybody jumping on the narrative? See, we're focused on the lie. Understand what the lie is designed to do. The lie is doing what it was meant to do. It's designed to create a narrative. It's not about the lie. That's what I keep making the same point of. It's not the lie that he told. Why did he tell the lie? And I'm not buying the likes and the clicks because the lie is doing what it was designed to do. It's pushing the narrative that George shouldn't play under the tag. See if you can get a trade from the Dallas Cowboys. Listen to the narrative that is being pushed. I don't care about the lie. Media members lie all the time. It's not just Adam Schefter. They all lie all the time. The issue is the result. They're finding out allegedly Diana Rossini was telling lies. But it's not the lie that she told that they're concerned with. It's the narratives that the lie pushed. The lies push the narratives that benefit the person that want to benefit. And allegedly, Rossini was making things benefit Vrabel. And now they say she was trying to do things to benefit Vrabel in New England. She's not the only one that does this. She just got caught. Amen, Walls. She just got caught. She isn't the only one that does it. Who cares about the lie? The lie is designed to push a narrative. And just listen to these people. I'm letting you hear. Have you noticed? They're not calling out Adam Schefter. They're not saying, oh, Adam Schefter, bull jump. No, they've jumped right on the bandwagon and they're pushing the narrative. Get GP out of Dallas.
I'd love to tell you that I know exactly what is about to happen between George Pickens and the Dallas Cowboys. We don't know. But here are a couple of options that ultimately can play out. We learned at the start of the draft that George Pickens, the Dallas Cowboys, they were not going to negotiate further with George Pickens. They tagged him to the tune of $27+ million for the 2026 season, and then they pulled up the negotiating ladder. They have until July 15th to reach a long-term contract extension. But Stephen Jones, the CEO of the team, said, no, we're not going to do that. He's just going to play on the tag. Okay, little surprising. Doesn't seem like George Pickens is going to rush to sign the tag. And then what happens a day later, word comes out that he will indeed sign his franchise tag. Well, he hasn't yet. And so what does that mean? Well, it could mean something. It could mean nothing. It could mean that he just hasn't been physically there at the Star to sign it. Maybe he had some plans, a vacation or whatever. But once he does sign that tag, what that means, Jenny, is that, well, he's under contract. So if there's a mandatory activity, he has to be there or else he's going to be fined. That means that he's under contract, so he can be traded. Right now, George Pickens cannot be traded. He's not technically under contract. And so he couldn't be dealt during the draft when we were all keeping an eye on it because, again, he was not under contract. The last thing is, and this is a possibility, it's always a possibility when teams issue the franchise tag, the team can rescind the tag before you sign it. Doesn't happen that often. We're talking about things right now, Jenny, that don't happen that often. I was covering the Carolina Panthers when Josh Norman's franchise tag was rescinded by GM Dave Gettleman more than a decade ago. That can happen here. And so sometimes if you fear that, you say, hey, hold on, I'm going to go sign it. So we'll see ultimately what winds up happening with George Pickens. If and when he does sign it, he's under contract, he can be dealt, or he can say, look, I'm not showing up. I'm not going to play in games. And then he doesn't get his game checks of $1.5 million per game. I'd love to tell you that.
Yeah. And he just explained in a nutshell. Guess what? There's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do in the grand scheme of things. So in the grand scheme of things, he either going to play or he's not. Tatiana, Ocho Cinco wants him to leave Dallas. Dre Yates, I don't think he wants $40 million. I agree. I don't think he wants $40 million. But the question is, what does he want? What does he want? Bass, I 100% agree with you. He is a team wrecker. Mulugheta's a team wrecker because he don't care about the team. Kevin Edwards, I agree. There are some people out there that want the Cowboys to fail, it seems like to me. Bernard Fields, great point. He needs to talk to T. Higgins. Yeah. He needs to talk to T. Higgins. I'm telling y'all, man, we acting like the Cowboys didn't have a plan. Well, somebody's got to tell me what was David Mulugheta's plan? To get George Pickens the same amount of money or more than CeeDee Lamb? I just wonder what he was doing with T. Higgins. I really do. I wonder what he was doing with T. Higgins. And so, at the end of the day, the narrative is being pushed. The narrative is being pushed for George Pickens to get out of Dallas. Don't play on the tag. That's the narrative that is being pushed. Again, we're talking about Adam Schefter, but I don't find it to be strange.
The circus is how Jerry.
That these people who are talking, you notice they're not talking about Adam Schefter other than Mike Fisher? Because Mike Fisher is not a part of the game. Mike Fisher is an honest reporter. That's the one thing we're going to give Mike Fisher. He's an honest reporter. Mike Fisher is going to give you the truth that he knows. He's an old school journalist. He's an old school reporter. Fisher is going to give you the truth as he knows it, as he gets it. He's going to report it. He's not a part of the game. Fisher isn't a part of the game. Is he probably well connected? Yes, but he doesn't play the game. As long as I've been watching Mike Fisher, and I've been watching him for a long time, he's been covering the Dallas Cowboys for 36 years. Fisher doesn't come from that world that this new media is. He's not from that world. He's in the media, but he's not from that world. Fisher isn't going to just report anything. And if he reports something that's wrong, Fish is a guy of integrity. He gonna come back and tell you it was wrong. He'll tell you, I got it wrong. Okay, let me give you clarity. Fish will do that. Fish isn't a narrative pusher. He isn't a narrative pusher. And even if he does push a narrative from time to time, he's pushing a narrative to where maybe it's something that he wants the Cowboys to do, but he's not doing it from an angle of dishonesty. But what Adam Schefter did is doing what it was designed to do, to get everybody talking in the court of public opinion and start pushing for George Pickens to be away from the Cowboys. Trey Wingo has an entire podcast with Darren Woodson today. I only got a snippet of it listening to them talk about George Pickens. I'm going to go back and listen to the rest of it tonight, and I'll come back tomorrow. I think I was listening to some of it, and Darren Woodson had some great things to say about the Cowboys defensively and things of that nature, because we ain't dedicating this to George Pickens tomorrow unless George Pickens just don't get signed, unless we hear some news that George Pickens got traded or he signed the tag. That's the only way we're going to be talking about this tomorrow. But I'm going to let you hear what Darren Woodson and Trey Wingo said.
He thrives, for lack of a better term. And now comes the news. They dropped the news on the pre-draft press conference that George, I'm not going to come to a long-term agreement with George Pickens, who, by the way, just so everyone knows, same agent, David Mulugheta, as Micah Parsons. And obviously there was some bad blood that went on with the Micah Parsons thing that I think may be carrying over into the George Pickens negotiations.
Yeah,
and now Adam Schefter, when he appeared on the Pat McAfee show on Monday, basically said he thinks at this point that because Pickens is going to be under that contract, even though he hasn't signed it, Todd Archer just tweeted out that George Pickens has not yet signed the franchise tag tender with the Cowboys, and there's still time to do that. Adam seems to believe that because of the situation, George Pickens is now more tradable at this point than Micah Parsons was at this point this year.
Now keep in mind, Trey Wingo is reporting on the second part of Adam Schefter talking about the George Pickens situation. No, what transpired is Adam Schefter doubled down. After Adam Schefter said that George Pickens, he said definitively, he didn't say he think. Nah, he didn't say he thinks. George, I'm telling you, Adam Schefter definitively said, he wants a long-term contract or he would like a trade. He definitively said that. Where did he get that from? Where did he get that from? See, people screenshotted it after they tried to delete it. They screenshotted it. George Pickens is as good as anybody, and he played very well for Dallas. There's got to be a team that's willing to step up and pay him to make this trade. Why is he pushing this? Why is he pushing this? Why would he say he's more tradable than ever? No, George Pickens was more tradable during the draft. How would he be more tradable now the draft is over? Somebody explain it to me. How would he be more tradable now? If there is anything you want to catch some trades, it's the draft. Because that's when you catch people being out there like there's a shiny new toy out there, they want it, or if they can't get it, man, and that we don't see anybody worth it, let's trade some picks and get this player. Why is he pushing this narrative? Why is he pushing it?
What do you last year? What do you make of that?
You know, look, I'm torn on this because I saw Pickens and been around him enough to see that there was a change that took place. Like we watched Pickens in Pittsburgh from afar and thought
took some time off.
he took some time off, and it was, half crazy. I would just say kind of half crazy within the locker room. Didn't play hard all the time. And he's always had this persona more on the negative side of who he was in Pittsburgh. Well, he came over to Dallas last year, and you ask, if you ever want to know the truth about a player, just ask the equipment guys and ask the trainers. They'll tell you what kind of guy he is. No one had a problem with him. Not one person in that locker room said he showed up every day. He was always on time. You didn't hear it. He was never a headache. He did everything the right way until maybe the Detroit game where,
there it is.
He didn't, okay. But anyway, other than that, he did everything the right way. Would I love to have George Pickens on this team? Absolutely, because you got 2 number ones. But the reality is you're trying to build a team, Trey. You're trying to build a team for the long run. And I don't know, I can't remember the last time I saw 2 number ones in the Super Bowl championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 2 number 1 wide receivers, and you're in the dance party.
Hold on a second. Anybody remember the year where 2 number 1 receivers were in the Super Bowl? I think there's a team that I can remember that had 2 number 1 receivers in the Super Bowl. Can anybody remember that team? I think I can remember that team. Anybody remember that team? Who was that team that had 2 number 1 receivers in the Super Bowl the last time you can remember? Anybody remember that team? Because I think I can remember a team that had 2 number 1 wide receivers that won the Super Bowl. Anybody remember that team? USMC. Uh-oh. So you got 2 teams. You name one of them. USMC. Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce. But there's another team out there that had 2 number 1. Oh, the 70s fan show. 70s fan. Can you tell me the year that the Dallas Cowboys had 2 number 1 receivers? Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, Darren Woodson. Maybe you didn't consider them as 2 number 1s. You do know that Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper were both number 1 receivers. Man, Alvin Harper went video game bonkers in that doggone 1992 season, man. Man, come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. That was 2 number 1 receivers, man. Tyrone Church, you make another interesting point. You could dare say AJ and Smitty. You could dare say C. Burleson. You can make the argument Mike Evans and Antonio Brown. Hey, and not to mention C. Burleson, didn't they throw Gronkowski in there? And I'm just gonna tell you, I'm on the record. I think Gronkowski is probably one of the top 3 tight ends to ever play the game. Come on, man. Come on, man. Luis Ortiz, come on, man. Irvin and Harper, man. Luis Ortiz, man. Harper was a first. I mean, he was a 1 receiver. He was actually a number 1 receiver. And that's why he left the Cowboys and got paid. But he didn't quite turn out when he went somewhere else. And the problem was, and this is the mistake that George don't want to make. Harper was a number 1 receiver. The problem is Harper took the money and he didn't go to the right team. And he looked like a number 1 with the Cowboys, but he didn't look like a number 1. I mean, this is not just about Michael Irvin. Harper was on a team that arguably had one of the best defensive lines to ever play the game. He played opposite of Alvin Harper. I forget which one of the dynamic tight ends we had at that time. We had Emmitt Smith in the backfield. Troy Aikman is the quarterback. Yeah, you had 2 number 1s. You had 2 number 1s because Alvin Harper was a monster. He ate up yards. Alvin Harper could have did more with the Cowboys had the Cowboys allowed him to do it. Nah, he was a monster. Harper was a monster, man. He was. Problem was, man, I don't care how much of a monster you are. Man, you go to a sorry team, bro. You just go to a sorry team. It's just not the same. It's just not the same, man. It's just not. Yeah, thank you, Luis Ortiz Novacek. It's just not the same. But I don't agree with this sentiment right here. Much respect for my man, though, Darren Woodson.
I don't remember seeing that. Like, I think there's a part of this where you have to figure out a way to allocate some of those funds, and especially if you can trade and get something in return for Pickens. That's the way I look at it. I just think that they're starting to understand now more than anything. And I thought it started with the hire of Christian Parker. They're building this a little differently than what they had in the past. In the past, you go get an old, retired head coach to come in to be the defensive coordinator. Well, that's gone.
All right, y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all hearing what Darren Woodson is saying? He's saying that, hey, maybe the Cowboys shouldn't keep both of them. Shoot, Niecy, you ain't lying. You like Niecy, straight up. Straight up, Niecy. Straight up. And it all depends on the team. Because I think George Pickens would have did good with another team. So the question becomes, is George Pickens the same George Pickens without Dak Prescott? Is he the same George Pickens without Dak Prescott? See, we're calling George a number one, and I ain't taking nothing away from George because George been balling with terrible quarterbacks, but not to the level of what he balled with the Cowboys. Not to the level of what he balled with the Cowboys. Quarterback makes a difference, man. The offense makes a difference. What's going on, Angie the Rebel Chicks, my unofficial co-host? Good to see you. I'm telling you, all of this makes a difference. Niecy made a powerful point y'all might not realize. Yeah, he looked like a number 3 with the Bucks. The Bucks wasn't good. But he looked like a number 1, and he played like a number 1 with the Cowboys. You take certain players off certain teams, the way they look now, they wouldn't look the same. And we know this, proof in case in point, George Pickens showed flashes of what he did in Dallas and Pittsburgh, but he looks like a way better George Pickens in Dallas. Quarterback play matters, man. Coaching matters. All these things matter. But again, Adam Schefter's lie is doing exactly what it was supposed to do. People are out here pushing narratives. People don't understand what lies are designed to do. Lies travel faster than truth. They travel fast. People tell lies to change narratives, to change people's minds, to get people thinking, to get people saying things and putting things out into the atmosphere. And there is power in words. Faith comes by hearing. That's a compound sentence, and hearing by the word of God. But everybody ain't hearing the word of God. And so what people believe comes by what other people say when they're not hearing the word of God. And this is why it's dangerous when people put narratives in the atmosphere. Because people who can't discern, they hear narratives and then they jump on the narrative. They jump on the narrative or they tell what they think. And either way you go, the lie accomplishes its purpose. People need to understand what lies do. They create narratives. They create narratives. And you can pull a lie back all you want to, but you can't pull that lie back from everybody. That's the problem with a lie. You can't pull it back from everybody because it still creates something in people to where they say and do certain things. Real estate from Las Vegas. What up, my man? He said GP knows and understands. Here it is, real estate. You're saying it. Dak is the reason why those numbers are where they are. He likes and needs Dak. He's not stupid. And again, see, this is the part that people don't understand. Niecy, I'm telling you, Niecy killed it with that statement of how did he look, How did Alvin Harper look in Tampa Bay? And this is the thing about David Mulugheta. David Mulugheta don't give a doggone. You want the money? David Mulugheta gonna get you the money. David Mulugheta ain't giving a doggone if you get in the Super Bowl. He might tell you he give a doggone. Man, he ain't giving a doggone. He ain't giving a doggone. Newhouse fam, you're right. It's all about the targets he receives. Again. This is a very tricky situation for George, too. Because if George gets out of Dallas, how does he look? Will he still be great? Yes. How great? See, a lot of people are acting like that if George gets out of here, yeah, man, George need to go to another team. Where? Where is he going? What is that team? What is the team he's going to? Who's the team? Where is he going that he's going to be able to thrive and go for that Super Bowl? Where is he going? If he wants the money, man, you can be put in Siberia and get the money. George can kill all of this. Angie the Rebel Chicks, I'm going to tell you something. I don't think it's agents. I think it's David Mulugheta in particular. Angie, I'm telling you, Angie, people ain't listening to me. Micah Parsons was Jerry Jones' man. I'm telling you, man, I was really getting ready to call for a DNA test on Micah Parsons, man, because Jerry loved Micah like a son. Jerry hated to see Micah Parsons go. Jerry had no intentions on trading Micah Parsons. None. Man, I'm telling you, Jerry's still mad at David Mulugheta about Micah Parsons. He's still mad at David Mulugheta about Micah Parsons. Jerry loved him some Micah Parsons, man. Jerry loved Micah Parsons on this team. Shoot. Man, I'm telling you right now, this ain't about George. This is about Micah Parsons and David Mulugheta. Jerry's still in his feelings about it. I'm telling you. All right. All of that to say, in the grand scheme of things, manufactured drama. I don't think George Pickens is going anywhere. Manufactured drama. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't. Only way George gets traded, and y'all got to realize where this is with George. George can't do what Micah Parsons did. If George tries to do what Micah Parsons did to get out of Dallas, it will not get him more money. It will get him less money. It will get him less money. Absolutely, it will get him less money. George can't do what Micah Parsons did. He can't, because everybody is already holding against George the time in Pittsburgh. Nobody wanted George before he came to Dallas. I know we don't remember that. Nobody wanted George before he came to Dallas. If anybody wanted George before he came to Dallas, Dallas wouldn't have had him. We only gave up a third-round pick for him. Everybody knew George was talented. But when Tomlin gave up on him, the league said no. We heard all this stuff. Don't want him in the locker room. George came to Dallas. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Brian Schottenheimer's entire culture helped George Pickens. And sometimes you got to be careful. When you get into an environment that helps you to transform. Do y'all remember Pookie from New Jack City? Boy, I'm telling you right now, Pookie is one of my favorite characters ever on TV, man. Hold on, let me read my sister, Angie the Rebel Chick. She said, gee, oh, I know. That's literally a quote from Jerry's interview with Stephen A. Smith. He said those words. Oh, I'm going to give you one better, Angie, I mentioned earlier. I'm going to give you one better. Jerry just recently said George could make more money if he dealt directly with me. Yeah, he said that. I think he's got an issue with David Mulugheta. Really, I do. I think he's still mad about that Michael Parsons thing. Do y'all remember Pookie? Pookie from New Jack City. Y'all remember Pookie? Do y'all remember the turning point in the movie New Jack City? The turning point in the movie New Jack City is that Pookie had been rehabilitated. I mean, Pookie went from crusty lips to, crusty lips, nappy hair, dirty clothes. Man, Pookie turned, man, Vaseline on his lips, Jerry curl on his hair. Pookie, man, was fully rehabilitated. And what did Pookie want to do? Pookie wanted to get out of the environment that had helped him to thrive. He wanted to get into the crack house and go undercover. Anybody remember what happened to Pookie? Anybody remember what happened to Pookie? Man, you got to be careful, man, when you get in an environment that totally helps you change and turn it around. People do this way too much. They do it in rehab. They do it in therapy. They do it in all of these different aspects of life. They get rehabilitated. They become a better person because of the people they are around. And one of the worst things they do is they get out of that environment and they go to another one. This is a very risky game that George Pickens is playing. It's a very risky game. It's a very risky game for the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys should let go of George. The Cowboys need to do everything they can do to keep George. And I still say the Cowboys, I think they intend on signing George. But I believe they want to see George play the game. Play the game. Keep playing the game, George. We want to see you continue to play the game. Show us that you have changed. Because you did it for a year. Man, let me tell y'all something. A lot of people can do something for a year. Whether we realize this or not, as somebody who deal with people, people can do they can do it for a year. It's not the first year that's the problem. You're in that new environment, a whole lot of change, a whole lot of people helping you out. You're a leader in that. You become a role model. Y'all remember Pookie in New Jack City? Man, Pookie became like a role model, man, at the rehab place, man. Pookie became like a role model. Man, they put Pookie back in that dang on crack. They put Pookie in that crack house, man. I tell people all the time, you can't put a recovering crackhead in a crack house, man. You can't do it. You can't put a recovering crackhead in a crack house. And I'm not telling you that George Pickens is a crackhead. I'm not telling you that. What I'm telling you is what has helped George Pickens is the environment that he's in. And David Mulugheta ain't caring about the environment that he's in. David Mulugheta is saying, bro, you did what you had to do to get your money. Now let's get your money. And I'm going to throw you in any environment that'll give you the money. I'll throw you in that environment. And so now you're going to start George Pickens out all over again in a brand new environment. And then you want him to be the same person that he was in Dallas. It don't even make sense. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. George has got to even understand this. You're not going to be the same. Will you still be great? Yes, God has given you God-given talent. But as Newhouse fam mentioned, do you know the targets you're going to get? Is it a guarantee you're going to go to a great quarterback? Is it a guarantee that you're going to click with the team that you go to? Is it a guarantee that you're going to be looked at the same in the locker room as you were looked at in Dallas? All the things you built in Dallas, and now you're going to start letting people talk you into, if they don't pay you, man, go where they'll give you the money. Okay, keep on thinking you'll be the same. Keep thinking you'll be the same. Everybody think they're going to be the same in rehab. I'm telling you, I've dealt with people on this. I'm in the people business. People be in one church. They don't realize the things that you're doing for them. They don't realize how much you're helping them. And then, oh man, I'm ready, man. I can go, man. Hey, man, man, I appreciate you help me out. I'm going here, going there. And then you find out, you check on them later on, they're not even there no more. I wonder why. Environment not the same, man. Environment not the same. This is a risky game. This is a risky game. It's a risky game that's being played. It absolutely is. It's a risky game on Dallas's part, and it's a risky game on George Pickens' part. It's a risky game. I'm just telling you. Very risky game he's playing. Cowboys too. I'm not just talking about George Pickens. It's a risky game they're playing. Because if the Cowboys let go of George, if they were to trade George, this is why I'm telling you, whatever team I'm going to, whatever team I would trade him to, I guarantee you, I'm gutting you. You're going to take about 2 years to get your team back together. And by that time, we're going to win the Super Bowl with the players we got from you. Yeah, we gutting you. I'm telling you now, whatever team George, and that's what that non-exclusive tag is meant to do, and that's why teams aren't doing it. They're not doing it because that non-exclusive tag is designed to do that. It is designed to say that if you want our player this bad, you want to pay him this bad, you come up with a number we can match, we'll match it. But if you try to go in that $40 million range, you can have him, but we're gutting your team. We're either taking 2 first-round picks or the equivalent thereof. What is the equivalent? Shoot, you don't even have to get 2 first-round picks. I'll take 2 2s and 2 3s, 2 2s and a 3. I'll take a 2 or 3 and a 4. I want the equivalent of 2 first-round picks. I'm gonna gut your team. You can give me a second-round pick and 2 or 3 players, but I'm gutting your team. That's what that non-exclusive tag is meant to do. Yeah, Angie, you hit it on the head. Yeah, Jerry spoke about that in his interview with Irving, how they've been making money together years after football, and I don't think he likes agents in general. Now, you probably right, he don't like agents in general. And he don't like agents in general because Jerry Jones, you said I could be wrong, but that's the vibe I get. I think your vibe is right, Angie, because I mentioned this earlier. Angie, think about this. Jerry Jones talked about this in the Netflix documentary. He's old school. He's used to dealing with people face-to-face, handshakes, verbal agreements. Jerry still believes in that stuff. He still believes in that stuff. Angie, I don't know if you've ever heard before, but I've dealt with people, some older people, and one of the things they tell you, that when they deal with you, they want to shake your hand and they want to look you in the eyes. Yep. They want to shake your hand and look you in the eyes. And for them, that's a deal. And Angie, think about this. Agents take that away from Jerry. A lot of owners don't care about this like Jerry does. A lot of owners would probably prefer it like this. GMs, they prefer it like this. Okay, it's good. I don't have to deal with the player directly because I'm going to tell you some things about this player that the player ain't going to want to hear anyway. He might jump across the desk and punch me in the face. I'm going to tell you that your player is trash. I'm going to tell you that your player ain't this, your player ain't that, and why this and why that. Because if you start talking business like that at the table with the player sitting there, he might jump over the table if he can't handle all that stuff. And some of these young men can't handle all that stuff. That's not Jerry Jones. The vibes are right, Angie. He old school. He old school. Jerry want to talk face to face, look you in the eyes, shake your hands. And that's why Jerry said that George Pickens could make more money with me if he didn't use his agent. And people get mad when Jerry says that. It's not against the collective bargaining agreement. A player can deal his own deal all he wants to. The guy from Cincinnati just did it. Nisi said, facts, G, and most of us see the change in Pickens. Here it is. Nisi, you tearing it up again. Once he came to Dallas. Got to stop thinking you're going to be the same in a different environment. I know this my own self. Man, you're not the same when you get around. It's not that you necessarily change, but you don't do things the same. You can't talk the same because people are different. But Phil said that crack was open. We get back like pockets in a law on Law and Order and rerun marathon, boy. Shoot, man, you mess around and go somewhere else and you're not getting the targets. Man, let me tell you something. These guys want money and the targets. They don't want just the money and say, okay, I don't care now. You can give me 15. You can give me 10, 15. You can give me 5 targets a game. Nah, bro. No, they want to continue to be that wide receiver. Because I think there's something else that can be said about this. Let me read a couple of comments. I'm going to come back to some of them. I'm telling you. Moncherio, what up, Moncherio? He said, in my opinion, the way Jones operates as far as the tag, they just want to see you're willing to hold up your end of the bargain and they will compensate you. I think this is what they're wanting. I really, Marcus, I really think this is what they're wanting. Larry Golden, he said, I said earlier that G. Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper, who was the second receiver, that was next to Jerry Rice. Hey, them boys was off the chain, man. They were off the chain. Ruffin said that's why GP is an important piece of Dallas' success. It's funny how players are washed up, but when they come to Dallas, they get a new start. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Madman. Dak makes elite players gods and average one great ones. Yep. Nisi said Pickens' family needs to talk to him about the man he has become since being with the Cowboys. Say it again. Say it again. Facts. Man, I'm about to hit y'all with something that I don't think people have thought of. Demetrius Noel said, gee, money do grow wings and fly away. Facts. Shoot, Gravedigger, they got more money they can spend in 10 to 15 lifetimes after they shop at the dollar store. Shoot. Hey, let me hit y'all with something that's crazy here. Hey, Angie, they hit Pollard. You right. Why did they tag Pollard? They let him go to next year. Angie, I thought the Cowboys should have never. I was so mad when the Cowboys franchise tagged Tony Pollard. I did not know what to do. How you gonna franchise Tony Pollard coming off a broken leg? He didn't even run the same. So stupid. Should have never done it in actuality. Should have went ahead and let him go then. Watch this. I'm about to hit y'all with something that's real crazy. Y'all ready for this? Poobie D. You're going to appreciate this, Poobie D. Poobie D, you in particular are about to appreciate something that I'm about to say. You are about to appreciate this, Poobie D. What does George Pickens' numbers look like if CeeDee Lamb don't get hurt? What does George Pickens' numbers look like if CeeDee Lamb don't get hurt? George Pickens amassed a lot of those yards when CeeDee Lamb went down. And you can argue this is one of the main reasons why you want to keep George Pickens. So if he went down, and what if Lamb went down? But what if Lamb is the one that stays healthy and George goes down? You want both of them for that very reason. But let me hit you again with this. Does George look the same if Lamb doesn't get hurt? Does George get all those yards? Does George get all those catches? Does George get all those touchdowns? Now, here's the part I want to hit you with. So maybe the Cowboys want to see George Pickens in a season where CeeDee Lamb doesn't get hurt. and see what his production is when CeeDee Lamb is not hurt. Because for the Cowboys, let's understand where I'm going. Do you want to gauge George Pickens when there is no Lamb, or do you want to gauge George Pickens where there is a healthy CeeDee Lamb? Because with a healthy CeeDee Lamb, you're probably going to get a better picture of George Pickens the entire season. Will George be the same in a season where he may not get as many targets because CeeDee Lamb is healthy the entire season? Will George have the same attitude if he don't get as many targets in a season where a Ryan Flanoy steps up even more? CeeDee Lamb is healthy and he's not getting all of the targets that he got. What is he like? Maybe the Cowboys are wanting to see that part of the game. Maybe they're wanting to see that part of the game. Because this George Pickens we saw because CeeDee Lamb got hurt. That's why that CeeDee Lamb was that CeeDee Lamb. What is this CeeDee Lamb? I mean, that's why we saw this George Pickens. What is this George Pickens with CeeDee Lamb healthy the whole year? I mean, does he still get 1,400 yards? Does he get 1,000 yards? I mean, what does he get? What does he get if CeeDee Lamb is healthy? Maybe the Cowboys are seeing all of this. They want to see this. Demetrius Noel said, gee, the NFL and media love to see the Cowboys in chaos. I know, I can't stand it. So many people prosper from the negativity on the Cowboys. I can't stand it. Rumboski said, Jerry still believes in that stuff, and that's not how business side of the NFL works anymore. It doesn't work that way anymore, not with the NFL being an annual $23 billion business. Rumboski, let me tell you something that I've always said about Jerry Jones. The thing that I don't understand about Jerry Jones is that Jerry Jones is a part of the architect of the salary cap, because he wanted to make sure that once he got the NFL booming, he wanted to make sure that more money was going into the pockets of the owners. And he is one of the main people that has struggled with navigating the salary cap and the modern day business of the NFL. That is basically his blueprint. Jerry Jones has created this monster, and he seems to struggle wrestling with it. He's getting better. Finally, in year 31, going on 32, Jerry is he's finally starting to figure out how to wrestle with the monster that he helped create. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. Sub-Zero said Dallas wants to see how David Mulugheta tries to handle this, and also if GP takes the cheese like Micah. GP has a golden opportunity. Hope he doesn't blow it. Man, I'm going to tell you, man, the environment that he has in Dallas, I'm not saying, I know some people are not going to like this, but, man, you got to really consider the environment, too. You really do. You got to consider the environment that you're in and you thrived in. Marcus Moncherio says, I think GP honestly is willing to do what it takes to stay with us because he knows better than anyone what life is like without Dak Prescott. Oh, I like that comment. I like that comment. And so, again, man, I'm just telling us there's so many different sides of a story that people, oh, man, I like that Johnny Jackson, 2 number 1 receivers in the Super Bowl, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison. That could be viewed as that, too. Could argue that. Wow. Hey, Demetrius Noel said, gee, do you know European, South American, African soccer players make deals and contracts for them? He says their parents. Wow. What up, Freddie El Truco? He said, that's what I've been saying, G. Once Jerry and Micah shook hands, it was a signed deal in Jerry's mind. Once Micah came back with Mulugheta to Jerry, it was Micah going back on his word, and he lost respect for him. I agree. I agree. Yeah. Robert Dudley said the only thing you have in this world is the thing you have is your word and the Lord Jesus. Yes, sir. I feel you on that. Gerald Jackson, he said, there's a reason why John Taylor stayed with Jerry Rice in San Francisco, maximize a great career. Man, I'm telling you right now, If I was George Pickens, man, I'm staying with CeeDee Lamb because I don't know if I'm the same George Pickens without CeeDee Lamb. Queen says CeeDee know that if GP leave, then it's back to being doubled again. Yep. Yep. Poobie D, what you think about what I said? Poobie D said, I don't think he do, G, because of the route tree they have GP running. It would have been easy to slow Pickens down. Poobie D, I'm telling you, bro. Is he the same? And it wouldn't take away from his talent. He would still be the same. But would he be getting the same amount of targets? Because I'm going to tell you now, get ready. We're going to, and I still think there is a good chance we're going to extend George Pickens. But get ready. Because once we extend George Pickens, don't expect the productivity to increase. The productivity is actually going to go down simply because if CeeDee Lamb stays healthy, unless Dak Prescott is going to throw for 5,000 yards and throw 1,400 or 1,500 yards to throw 1,400 or 1,500 yards to Pickens and 1,400 or 1,500 yards to CeeDee Lamb, and then sprinkle in another 1,000 to 1,500 between Ryan Flanoy, Michael Trigg. Yeah, I'm already talking about Trigg. Michael Trigg, Ferg, Turpin, and anybody else you just want to sprinkle in. And again, I don't understand how you're going to do that. Because let me tell you something. We're about to talk about these UDFAs. Man, the Dallas Cowboys got a running back, man. I'm telling y'all now, as much as I like Jaden Blue, man, Jaden Blue, you ain't going to have no room for error in this training camp, bro. You will not have a lot of room for error. This running back the Cowboys picked up as a UDFA, this UDFA running back the Cowboys picked up, hey, man, this kid can run the rock. He can run the rock. I'm telling you, he can run the rock. He can run. If I'm Brian Schottenheimer, I'm going to be honest with you. My goal is for Dak Prescott to throw actually less than he did this year. That's me. I want him to throw less. I want Dak Prescott to get to a point to where he's only throwing the ball 20 to 25 times. Angie said CD still had issues getting his money, and they spammed him. Sorry, I'm not buying. They want to see. She said, I'm not buying. They want to see Pickens one more year with healthy CD and CD agent, not David. They always push back on signing their league guys. But Angie, you got to, hey, I can see where you're going. And I can agree with you. But I do say, Angie, you got to look at this. Just look at what I'm saying. Could the Cowboys be saying with a healthy CeeDee Lamb, you won't have that same type of production? We want to gauge what you are with CD rather than without CD. Because that's how he accumulated a lot of those yards. But he's still incredible. He's still incredible. But again, I can go on both sides of this. I could agree that maybe the Cowboys don't want to pay an elite guy. I could agree with you. But a part of me is saying that some of this is true. Where I believe they're also saying, we want to see George do this one more year. We want to see George do this one more year. Now, me, I wouldn't have to see George do this one more year because I think he already has the talent. I think he's just tremendously talented, and I think he's still going to do great. I don't think he'll get this many yards again if CeeDee Lamb is healthy. And then when you start adding in some of these other players, and y'all already know Dak will spread it around. But I do think Dak's going to make sure George gets paid, but I just don't know. I just don't know how many passes will there be to go around once you start implementing some of the things that Brian is going to do. I think Brian's going to try to run the ball even more. I think he's looking for that second running back that will help him run the ball even more. So we're going to see. I just don't know if George is going to get as many. Just don't know if George is going to get as many targets, and I think they know this. I think they know this in a sense. Jerry Betts said Jaden Blue is too immature and not dependable. That's why they're trying to replace him or bringing in a player to push the situation or poop or get off the pot. Man, let me tell you something. And we're gonna shift gears. I want to hit a couple of quick points that I didn't get to hit yesterday because the internet went out. I want to get to these UDFA signings the Dallas Cowboys have. I want to get to these UDFA signings because there are 3 of these UDFA signings that I believe they have an opportunity to make an impact on the Cowboys. Y'all can book it. Michael Trigg is not only making the team, I believe Michael Trigg is going to make an impact with the Cowboys. He's going to play. And I think he's going to play and get some significant time. The Cowboys gave him $200,000 as a undrafted free agent. And every undrafted free agent they paid that kind of money to, they've made to team. I mean, to the Dallas Cowboys, man, that's a lot. That's a lot of money to the Cowboys, man. That's a lot of money with the Cowboys, man. Angie said, I feel Pickens will shine with a healthy CD because when CD was dropping balls or if the offense was stagnant, Pickens was the one getting the team momentum up. That's the last I speak on it. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate what you're saying. And at the end of the day, you know, a lot of it, you know, we're speculating, Angie. I believe that he is immensely talented. If I were the Cowboys, I actually wouldn't have to see another year of George. I would just try to figure out, like, what is the number what are we dealing with here? I would have to find the number out. I wouldn't turn off the negotiations. I'd have to find out what the number is. Before I turn off negotiations, I at least got to see what the number is. Luis Ortiz, he's a slot receiver. He's a tight end. Yeah, Trigg is a tight end that can play in the slot. Trigg is a tight end. He's 240 pounds. The issue is he just moves like a wide receiver. But he's 240 pounds. He's 6'4", 240 pounds. Yeah, he is actually a tight end. And he's going to play tight end, I believe, for the Cowboys. Because that's where he's going to be most dangerous. He'll be dangerous in the scene for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm telling you now, I believe he's going to outplay Ferg. Book it. He's going to outplay Ferg. I believe this man is going to outplay Ferg. I'm going to show you 3 players to watch out for in these undrafted free agents. And they are going to be a problem. They are absolutely going to be a problem. And they are going to push the players on this team. They are going to push the current players on this team right now. And number 1 is Michael Trigg. Trigg is going to push Ferguson. He is going to push Schoonmaker, Maker, whatever his name is, probably push him out of a position. Trigg is going to get time. Michael Trigg, huge target, big-time athlete who can go up and make all kinds of contested catches. We've already seen it. Trigg posted career high in yards, 694, and touchdowns 6 last season. You put this dude with Dak Prescott, and he is going to be a monster of a player. Monster of a player. There's another player that you don't need to sleep on. His name is Kelvin Gilliam, defensive tackle from Virginia Tech. Do not sleep on this guy. 69 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. I think there's another couple of these guys that are going to give these wide receivers some problems. I think Camden Brown from Georgia Southern, and in particular, I think Jordan Hudson is going to give these wide receivers some problems. They are going to give these wide receivers that are currently on the Dallas Cowboys some problems. And this is the guy that I'm excited about. Last but not least, Dominique Richardson. Dominique Richardson, power back, running back out of Tulsa, 6-year senior. Don't frown at it. You're going to see this more and more. Because of this NIL stuff, these guys make more money. They make more money by staying in college than leaving college. Dominique Richardson, 1,065 yards, 5 touchdowns on 212 carries. He is a power back. You watch what I tell you. This guy, Dominique Richardson, I think he has a good chance of making this Dallas Cowboys team. He is a power back. I think he'll do some damage. But this was a very undrafted free agent class, guys. This was a very good undrafted free agent class. While there was not a lot of blue chip players, but because the teams were scrambling for what they were deeming as the best players, there were still a lot of very good players. A lot of very good players that were left out there undrafted, man. There were a lot of these guys. Yeah, Q-Town. E.J. Smith got drafted by the doggone Kansas City Chiefs. I don't like the fact that he went to the Kansas City Chiefs. I really don't like that. I wish that Jerry Jones, I mean, come on, man. You went and got, what was the dude name again? I can't even remember the little short dude name again. What was the little short dude we were talking about the other day? Deuce Vaughn, man. Come on. Jerry, you wait. I'm going to say it not because Deuce Vaughn is necessarily bad. But Jerry Jones went and drafted Deuce Vaughn in the 7th round because his father is on the staff, man. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Man, you would have drafted everybody. Man, Deuce Vaughn didn't have a chance on the Cowboys, man. This dude didn't have a chance. Everybody knew why they got Deuce Vaughn. They should have never went and got Deuce Vaughn. Come on, bro. You could have brought in Emmitt Smith. You could have brought in E.J. Smith, man. Come on, Jerry. Man, Jerry, don't let the legacy go to another team, man. Let E.J. Smith go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let him go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Luis Ortiz said it was a slap in the face, man. Come on, man. I know the Kansas City Chiefs are the original Dallas Texans, man, but that ain't the Dallas Cowboys, man. And then, for Jerry to add insult to injury, man, Jerry bringing in Barry Switzer grandson. Now, he ain't paying him, but he's been invited to the doggone. He's been invited, man. He's been invited to the what's the name, man. He's been invited to the training camp. I don't know how much money you get paid just to get invited. Robert Dudley, boy, you ain't lying. Boy, everybody knew that was a feel-good story, man. Come on, man. Come on, Jerry, man. You supposed to bring in, if a son of Troy Aikman, which he got daughters, Michael Irvin, if his son was playing football, but he's a rapper, and Michael Irvin said he ain't no rap, he ain't much of a rapper. Boy, Michael Irvin just like a father, boy. He's a father, boy. He just clowned him, boy. Hey, man, stop that stuff, man. You ain't no dang old rapper. But nevertheless, man, they should have brought him over, man. Chanel said Triggs is a better route runner than Kyle Pitts and has better hands, I believe. Boo. Chanel, the hands on this dude, Trigg, is crazy. Ferg has no speed. You ain't lying. No yards after the catch. I think it's going to be his demise. Cowboys might have wasted money with Ferg. I think Ferg was a favorite too, though. Ferg is related to somebody that the Joneses have history with. So, yeah, Ferg, I think they wasted money on Ferg. Boy, you got to be rolling, bro, basketball. This dude, Diego Pavia is the first runner-up for the Heisman that went undrafted. First runner-up for the Heisman ever, as far as I know, that went undrafted. That is crazy work. I mean, they didn't even give that man Man, they didn't even give that man a 7th round pick, bro. Come on, man. Nisi, you are exactly right. Ferg has not been the same since that injury. He has not been the same since that injury. And then the Cowboys paid him like they do. They pay players off injury, man. I just hope they don't do that stuff no more. Newhouse fam said Ferg woke up sorry. Man. Edwin, I'll tell you this. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say you're 100% right, but I'm leaning in on, yeah, man, you in there on that one. You in there about 80%, cause man, you have George Pickens and CD Lamb, and now you got Michael Trigg and some of the other things the Cowboys are gonna be doing. Man, George just makes you elite. I'm telling you, if the Cowboys get this defense just to around 21, 22, the Cowboys going to be elite, man. You're talking about an elite level team that will be able to beat more teams than they beat last year. At least 4 to 5 more wins. I would say at the minimum, you can get 4 more wins with a defense that's somewhere around 21 and making plays, taking the ball away. And that defense should start really hitting its stride, I would say, somewhere around mid-season. Got a bunch of rookies in there, so we're going to see. But again, man, these Cowboys UDFAs, they went in there and did work. Let me see here. What anonymous scouts? I don't know if y'all seen this article. Derrick Rose, I'm suggesting that Trigg might beat our Schoonmaker and get some snaps from Ferguson. Now, Derrick Rose, you know how the Cowboys believe the money stays on the field. We believe the money stays on the field. So Ferg, he gonna stay on the field. But thankfully, they'll let Michael Trigg get some game. Rombowski said, I don't know anyone by the name of Ferg. I only know someone by the name of Turd. I'll always call him Turd until he plays at a level deserving of that extension. Now, we can blame the Cowboys for that. We can blame the Cowboys for that, man. Marcus Moncherio said they're going to move Ferg in that contract. Ooh, whoa. That's a prediction right there, bro. That's a prediction. Wow. Hey, Tony Hubbard, Trigg going to eat that seam up, man. Trigg was eating in that man. Boy. Angie said, is there such thing as a 7.5 in the 4th? New House fam said Ferguson, boy. Boy, you ain't lying, boy. Hey, man, hey. I'm going to have to put Marquise Bell in there, too, because, man, I saw Marquise Bell catch a doggone interception last year, and I thought it was a kid riding a tricycle, man. I thought Marquise Bell was faster than that, man. I thought Marquise Bell was faster than that. Yeah, they slow, man. They is slow. These guys, and the Cowboys have added some speed. I ain't buying this stuff, but we're going to talk about Scanling in just a moment before we get off here. But I want to show you what anonymous scouts had to say about the 7 Cowboys rookies if you haven't already seen this. All right, let's see what they're saying about these 7 Cowboys rookies. All right. Caleb Downs. Wired different. Didn't do anything at the combine. He doesn't need to, said one scout. He was there cheering up his guys. He's taking every opportunity with grace, and he's kind of happy to be there. Where some guys would opt out of a bunch of stuff and have crappy attitude, it's probably more just character with Caleb. They talk about how intelligent he is and how mature he is. In his interview, you can get a feel for that. A guy that rushes the passer has more value, but Caleb is wired different. He's smart, he's mature, and he's humble. Yeah, they got him one with Caleb, I believe. Won't read all of these. Somebody said he looked like Ed Reed. Man, I ain't even going there. Shoot, I ain't going there. Man, you ever watch the Ed Reed tape? Shoot, Ed Reed is an alien. Man, Ed Reed is an alien. He was an alien, man. All right, Mekhi Lawrence. A lot of ability, tested really well, doesn't play the run well, inconsistent motor. We're going to see. Jayshon Barham, unique player. A lot of people, man, referred to Jayshon Barham as an Orville Reese light. A lot of people did. Drew Shelton, he's a second, third round type. Devin Moore, outside corner all the way. Excited about this guy. Devin Moore could be the future replacement for DaRon Bland. The Cowboys can get from under DaRon Bland's contract the way they fixed it, guys. They can get from under DaRon Bland's contract, I think, after this year, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they'll take a hit, but they can get from up under it. Michael Trigg, boom or bust. Somebody says prototype tight end. Made some great catches that would fill up 2 or 3 minutes of highlights. Yeah, we talked about that. This part I agree with. Probably the third most talented tight end. Yeah, he was crazy with it. Notice, UDFA player Michael Trigg made it in with the drafted players. Man, everybody knows Trigg should have been drafted. Everybody knows Trigg should have been drafted. Everybody knows it. Only thing got Trigg was it wasn't his 2025, it was his 2024. That's what got Trigg. Everybody said he was a model citizen in 2025. So I think a lot of people know what Trigg is. And I think Michael Trigg will be able to thrive in the Dallas Cowboys environment the same way that George Pickens has. I think he will be able to thrive in that environment. All right, let me see here. Let's hit another quick hit. Man, we got to stop this right here. I had to circle the block on this, man. We got to stop this right here, man. Have y'all seen the way they've been talking about Marquez Valdes-Scantling? Have y'all been seeing some of the things they've been writing about this man? Man, I'm like, come on, man. Y'all got to stop talking about Marquez Valdes-Scantling like this. This is crazy work. JCT's like, man, I don't think Jerry Jones thought Deuce Vaughn was going to be Darren Sproles. I mean, I don't know. He might have thought it, but I don't think he thought it. I think he just did it to help out his. I think he did it because it was a good story. That's why I think he did it. Davion Wallace said GP is a great receiver, but it's capped by quarterback play. Steelers get what Dak All Pro. Hold on, talking about the quarterback play of Dak Prescott. You leave, he goes to being just a good wide receiver. We'll see. Well, I hope we don't see, but. You know, if this persists, man, Newhouse fam, man, I'm struggling. Newhouse fam, man, I'm struggling with this whole deep threat thing, man. Man, I'm struggling with this thing with Scantling, man. I'm sorry, bro. I ain't buying this, man. Man, have y'all seen what this dude Scantling has been like his entire career? Dude about to be 32 years old, man. The Cowboys did the same thing last year. Who was this receiver the Cowboys brought in? He ain't on the level of that guy. But come on, man. Have y'all seen Marquez Valdes-Scantling's stats, bro? Really? Really? Come on, man. This dude ain't beating out Ryan Flanoy. He can beat Ryan Flanoy running. He ain't beating out Ryan Flanoy. Man, I'd be shocked if he even make the team. Look at these stats, man. His best year is 2022, and it ain't even as good as George Pickens' worst year, man. Come on, man. Man, thank you, Reedy Zegwitty. Boy, we bought in Paris Cap. Oh, man, This dude was an ex-first round pick. I don't know. I can't remember what he was. Ex-something. Ex-first, second, or third round pick. Ran a four flat. I mean, people talking about this dude running 4 flat, 4.2, whatever. Man, come on, man. Look at this dude's stats, bro. Man, we want Dak Prescott to turn everybody into a doggone star, man. Stop it. This dude's best years are Patrick Mahomes, man, 2022, 42 receptions, 687 yards. Come on, man. Stop this madness, man. This is to fill the 90-something man roster that you need. That is what this is for. I'll be surprised if he even makes the team. I will be surprised if he makes the team. I mean, look at this, man. 2023, 21-3-15. Come on, man. Everybody talking about, yeah, man, he got a Super Bowl. Man, come on, man. Shady McCoy got a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. Come on, man. Some of the people got a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs, man, riding the bench. Come on. Stop it. Man, people be killing me with this stuff. Because people, oh, man, they got security for George. Man, if this is the security that you got for George Pickens, I'm sorry, this is the security guard that Martin used to play, man. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it, man. This is the security guard that Martin used to play. This is not security that you get for George Pickens. I'm sorry, man. You don't roll up trying to, if this is your leverage, if this is you saying, hey, man, just in case something go left with George Pickens, I'm sorry, there are some other wide receivers I could name out there that if you were really trying to get some security for George Pickens, Marquez Valdez-Scantling is not it, man. He's not it. I think this is a guy they just got to bring into the camp. It's the only thing I can figure. It's the only thing I can figure, man. I'm not even trying to be funny, man, but there is no way that, man, come on, man. Come on. We can't even be serious, man. Man, I was laughing, man. I was like, man, people can't be serious about this stuff, man. They cannot be serious about this, man.
On, folks. Keep your drawers on, okay?
Come on,
Keep your drawers on. The store don't open up for another 2 minutes, all right?
Hey, look here, old man. It's my woman's birthday. Get
Come
your
on,
old behind
man.
out the way.
Wait a minute, boy. You done climbed that rope. What? Man, you want to sprint with me, boy? You want to sprint with me, boy? Don't you ever. No, he did
We
not
can't
climb
be
the rope.
serious,
Did the
bro.
boy climb the rope? When I said we had 2 minutes and counting, okay there, boy. Well, let me tell you something.
We
Did you
can't
call
be
old
serious,
old?
bro.
That's what I said. Can you hear, old man?
The boy, I got the boy to look at me then. Well, look here, boy.
We can't be
you call
serious,
this
Nisi.
man old here, boy?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
What about this woman here, boy?
She's older than he is. Now, what you trying to prove?
We
Nothing at
cannot
all,
be
that boy,
serious
nothing
here,
at-
man. Come on, man. Now, if you telling me you got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, you want to bring in a little bit of depth. All right, I can live with that. But if we're saying he's security and that's a sign there's something about to go wrong with George Pickens, this ain't the sign, man. This is not the sign. This is not the sign. It's not the sign. It's just not the sign. I think he's a camp body. Nisa said, gee, you went from Pookie to Otis. Nisa, hey, it's the off season. What else can we do? What else can we do, man? I mean, everybody, you know, we got manufactured drama with George Pickens. I mean, what else can we do? I mean, man, you know, Marquez Valdez, I'd be surprised if he makes the team. I'll be surprised if he makes the team. Speed don't help you make the team. Paris Campbell proved that. Paris Campbell is full of speed. That don't help you make the team. Ryan Flournoy is an emerging wide receiver. He's the third wide receiver I don't see anybody taking his spot. I don't see anybody taking his spot. The man is playing extremely well. I don't see anybody taking his spot. I think he's going to take another step this year. I see nobody taking that man's spot. And I'm not even trying to even talk George Pickens out of here. I just think this is manufactured drama. I believe the Cowboys have an intention. And I think George needs to get a little bit more clarity. And I think the issue is because, and this is the world that we live in, is that we don't want George to say a word to Jerry Jones. I don't think we want George to say a word to Jerry Jones. Excuse me. I think George can talk to Jerry Jones. I don't think he needs to be talking to Jerry Jones about money, but I think he can talk to Jerry Jones. And hey, man, I want to be here. I think he can tell Jerry, I want to be here. I want to be here. You don't need to be talking about money. But I think that George is going to get an extension here. I really do. And I think they want to extend him. I don't think they necessarily want to extend him for a whole bunch of, I know they don't want to extend him for $40 million. But I think they want to extend him. I do. Because I believe the Cowboys do know. I believe they do know what they are with George Pickens. I do think they know this. And if they didn't know it, they would have traded him. They would have traded him during the draft time. I believe they would have traded him. So we're gonna see how this turns out with George. But I'm not overly concerned about it at this time. I'm just not overly concerned about it. This is just going to go all the way into July 15th. It's the bottom line. George is going to sign the tag. They're saying he's going to sign the tag. I'm not worried about it. When's the next? Let me see. When does Cowboys training camp start? Let me see. So we're going to know everything that's going on because training camp is saying the time frame is in July, somewhere in July, maybe late July. If anybody has a date, let me know. George, no matter what comes up in between then, and I'm not sure what comes up in between then. I'm wondering what the Cowboys, I wonder if is there a way to check the Cowboys calendar? Okay, Cowboys calendar 2026. Let's see if we can get some dates on here. This is the Cowboys calendar. So I just want to help us to ease our minds. There's no point in worrying about anything going forward. The date is July the 15th. There's nothing to worry about. So we got April. We've had the draft. And I think the voluntary workout started yesterday. Basically working out. These are this date right here. There's no point in worrying about it. Rookie minicamp's going to start May 1st. We're going to have the rookie premiere May 13th. Schedule going to be released mid-May. That's going to be exciting. Spring League meeting May 20th. So we're not worried about any of this stuff. This is when things are going to start happening. I say George needs to sign that tag by June. I just don't think you need to miss the mandatory OTAs. Don't miss the mandatory OTAs and the mandatory minicamp. Be there and be there with CeeDee Lamb. Be there. Be there. Get this stuff figured out by June the 1st. Because that's when we're going to start seeing the issues. We're going to start seeing the issues. And the deadline for the franchise tag players to sign a multi-year extension, here it is. July the 15th. And I'm just not buying. If George doesn't sign that tag and decides he's going to hold out, I'm sorry, that's going to be the worst thing that George Pickens could do. And I don't think he's going to do that. I'm not even going to speak that into existence. But it would be one of the worst things he could do. So Cowboys fans, I'm just telling you this. Ignore everything you're hearing about George Pickens right now. Just ignore it. All we're watching is the court of public opinion, negotiating in the court of public opinion, take all of this with a grain of salt. As the older people used to say, the rubber is going to meet the road July 15th. I ain't worried about nothing else anybody's talking about. July the 15th. I'm preparing myself that he's probably going to miss these mandatory OTAs because he probably won't have it signed by then. But I pray that he has it signed by then, June the 1st. And again, Cowboy fans, y'all get ready. If George hasn't signed that non-exclusive tag by June the 1st, the drama is going to ramp up again June the 1st. The drama will ramp up again June 1st. Drama will come back June 16th. It's going to die down for about a month. And you get ready. Because once July 12th, 13th, and 14th get here, and George ain't signed that non-exclusive tag, get ready. You're going to hear some of the craziest stories you've heard over the last year. You're going to hear some crazy stories start coming out about George Pickens. I'm just telling you to brace yourself for the storm. Because the longer George waits to sign that tag, the more things you're going to hear made up. The more things you're going to hear. The more things you're going to hear. Just ignore it. Ignore all of it. Rubber meets the road July the 15th. Rubber meets the road. Real estate vet, if he does not sign, one long-term deal can't get done. As far as I know, he can't do it the long-term extension anymore. It is required that you play under the tag. Second thing that happens, he can show up by the first game. He can show up by the first game. He can sit out until the first game. He'll still get paid. Problem is this, though. If George doesn't show up through none of the training camps, it's only going to set him behind. And he will not be able to put up the numbers that he put up the previous season. He just won't be able to do it. I don't think he'll be able to do it because he won't be worked in enough. He won't be worked in enough. I mean, we saw how CeeDee Lamb looked. CeeDee Lamb talked about that. We saw how CeeDee Lamb looked when CeeDee Lamb didn't get his contract until August. Man, it took CeeDee Lamb a minute to get his feet up under him again. Rombowski said, well, he's got to at least sign the franchise tag by the 15th if he wants to get paid by the 26th. Bottom line, paid in 2026. The bigger question is if he reports to Oxnard by the required date or not. And that's the dates. Those are the things we're going to be looking at. So I'm not worried about the stuff that happened in April. No big deal. No big deal. It's voluntary. He might have been signed and not came to that. He might have been signed and not came to that. So I say that's no big deal. Demetrius said, Steven, give Steven a few drinks. He can't function correctly while he's sober. He thinks he's in between the moonlight and the twilight. Yeah, Rombowski, though, what I've heard is, from what my understanding is, George can still, while he can't get the long-term extension done, from what my understanding is, he can still sign that tag later. He doesn't have to sign it to get paid because he can sign it the day before the first game of the season and start getting paid for the first game of the season because that's what he's getting paid for. He's going to get paid per game. So he doesn't have to, he can sit out, and this is what people have been talking about. He could actually sit out until November and still get credit for a whole season. He'll miss the money. He'll miss $1.5 million per game. Yeah, he'll miss the money per game, but he can come back somewhere around October, November. He come back around, he could come in around October. It ain't going to help him. It actually hurts him. It actually hurts him. And this is the problem with the Pickens situation that David Mulugheta is facing. He's not looked at as the kind of player that Michael Parsons was looked at as. He's not looked at like that. So he doesn't have the leeway to do some of the things that Michael Parsons was doing. They're going to hold any and everything that George Pickens does against him. And George, I'm sure, understands that. The question is, does Mulugheta care? Because when you start talking about contract negotiations, it only takes one team. It only takes one team. You're not looking for a bunch of teams. You're just looking for one team that's willing to do it. Question is, though, does that one team work to the advantage of one George Pickens? That's the issue. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. What we are going to do tomorrow, we're not talking about George Pickens. And if we do, if something comes up, it'll be something small. I want to dedicate a lot more time this rest of this week. I want to dedicate a lot more time to the draft picks that we picked up and the undrafted free agents. I want to really put a lot of time into finding y'all some highlights, some film, some things that people are saying about the free agents and the UDFAs. Man, I'm telling you right now, don't let people rob y'all joy. The Dallas Cowboys are on to something. They are on to something. This George Pickens thing, I don't think this is the same thing the Cowboys have been doing. The Cowboys seem to be very decisive at this point on George Pickens. And I can appreciate that. At least they are being very decisive. They came out before the draft and said, he playing on the franchise tag. I mean, on the non-exclusive tag. They didn't do that with Michael Parsons last year, per se. They didn't do that. They were actually trying to get a deal done, but it fell through. George Pickens, they've come to this conclusion. I don't know why they've come to this conclusion. But nevertheless, they at least have let George Pickens and his representation know up front, including the fan base. And so, this is it. They've been very upfront with George. They thought they were getting a deal with Michael, but they've just basically said, we're cutting off this thing with George. They didn't do this with Michael Parsons until way deep into the cycle. But with George, they let it be known up front. They let it be known before the draft. Before the draft, they let it be known. So, George and his representation, they know what it is. And I just say it is what it is. George doesn't have the leeway that Michael Parsons had. He doesn't. There are still people doubting George Pickens. They're waiting on George Pickens to relapse. They're waiting on. So, Cowboy fans, just stay patient. This is all going to work out in the end. And I'm going to tell you this. Believe me when I tell you, even if the Cowboys trade George Pickens, I don't think they're letting George Pickens get out of here without bringing in some players. They're not. Rombowski said you don't need a robber. Georgie Jerry's got the top spot. He's robbed the Cowboys of joy for 30 years. I think it's 31 years now. I think it's 31. Luis Ortiz said Pickens is a good wide receiver, but worth more than a tag. I agree with you there. You ain't gonna get no argument from me. But the Cowboys got him where they want him. There's no getting around it, man. They got him where they want him. And I don't think there's no leverage here. And the leverage that they do have would hurt George Pickens. And I don't think George Pickens needs to do anything to hurt his own leverage or hurt himself going forward, because there will be life after this. DC said, Pookie! Pookie! Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Best chat on YouTube. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. When we talk Cowboys. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Louise, you said you're not paying him, Louise. I thought you were saying pay him. Louise, I thought you were saying pay him. Man, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.